Ron GK Ron. Oh, Niners! Woo! Get a little crazy, you know. It's almost time. It's almost time, fam. Draft night. And even though we don't have anything going on Monday, but listen, I'm going to talk more about that. Well, I tell you what, the 49ers, they sat on their hands last year, which is kind of uncustomary behavior, those guys. This year, well, anyway, here's the thing. Nick Bosa, right? Not a trade chance. That goes intertwines with some of the other things we're going to talk about tonight. As far as the 49ers go, with player personnel being moved, now that things have changed, now that we have become one of the league's elite. Rudy, I know that hurt your feelings too. Now the GM, John Lynch, has been saying for years that he will listen to trade offers for anybody on the team, right? Every year, John makes it sure. He doesn't. As a matter of fact, they've talked about trading each other. John and Kyle said, I'll trade Kyle if I can get a better deal. That's who they claim they are. It's always been the organization credo since the Shanahan Lynch regime got underway that they'll listen to calls about any player in order to do their due diligence, in order to make sure they've done everything they can do to be a better football team. I like that. But if you get emotionally attached to players, oh man, no, not him. And we have 49ers, we do as a base, we are emotional about our certain players. The 49ers will, however, override and waive that policy for one Mrs. Bosa's baby boy. He is smaller bear, Nicky Bosa. And that according to Lynch. Tell you more about that tonight. Going to the phones after going over some comments from John Lynch's pre-draft presser. But first, I'll go get it up on the screen right now because I have to be patient with Big Show because each and every year, Big Show gives me at least 10 to 15 mocks. I'm serious. Big Show give me this is my mock, and this will start usually around latter part of February and into March, right? And so, show this. I know this. I'm gonna say next year. I'm gonna save them all, and that way I can show you what I made. But Big Show, the man is meticulous in what he does as far as the draft goes. Show turns over. There are no stones unturned with this man. ESPN has Mel Kiper Jr. I got the Big Show. I feel like I can compete. I'm serious, man. Big Show. All right, we got up on the screen. Big Show, actually, you see his grade? And a lot of people have talked about DeJuan Jones. A lot of people. I've watched him a couple times. Oh, okay, I see what y'all are talking about. Because I don't get a chance to watch college football. My life is just a little spread too thin now as it is for me to actually take out more time with college football. So I just wait till people tell me or the highlight reels come out, and I'll go check people out. DeJuan Jones, oh, he's going early in the draft. So no, I wish. But let me see. Show's got him. Also, but that isn't. Now, there's a trade here, Show. I've got a feeling 2:30. I'm looking at the time. All right. Trey Lance, oh, I see. Received in a trade. And at 2:30. Well, Show, is that how it Show's going to. Listen, if you have any questions about Show's draft, he's in the chat. Lay that question up. I want to see the answers myself. Show, is that how we arrive at DeJuan Jones? Okay. Also, next tackle, Blake Freeland. I mean, we've all talked about how we want offensive linemen. This is priority one in most minds of most 49er fans. They do something about the offensive line to make it at least potent enough to keep our quarterbacks from each and every year biting the dust. We blame the quarterback for every little thing, when in truth, that poor quarterback is a victim every damn year. And that's why when you see every quarterback we have laying in the dust being carried off on the wagon or in an ambulance, then you know it's not always that guy's fault. But Show does pick up a quarterback. Was his third pick, Tanner McKee. And I see. Number 30, 35, DeJuan Jones. Number 98, Blake Freeland. Right. So I see your trade now, show. All right. At number 37, Tanner McGee, round 3. So, and like somebody pointed out in the chat, I was reading that real quickly. If the 49ers do pick up a quarterback, it's gonna trigger a lot of speculation on our parts. Tanner McGee, Stanford. Also, edge defender, Andre Carter, the second, Army. Show, you got an A grade on that pick. I've got to say, I haven't got a chance to see all the highlights on these guys to know exactly, but I'm sure you have. Also, wide receiver, Parker Washington, Penn State. Good school, B+ on that one. Josh Wiley, tight end. See, this is a position that is going to be, 49ers have actually went public with the fact they're really going to be looking and doing a lot of work on making sure they get a tight end this year. George Kittle is not getting any younger, and he's taking a lot of lumps, and he's missing an average of 2 to 3 games a year, right? So you figure, they're going to have to go ahead and find somebody now, a worthy, and they can't be some of the types we've been picking up either, all right? Also, and at safety, Roddy Hickman. I know about him, though. A+ grade on that. Yeah, I've seen him. Yeah. Is he the guy that kind of reminds me, they have a similar look to Jimmy Ward? I mean, I think so. And also, shows going back to the offensive line. He's got center Brett Nylon. And you picked up a C grade on that one. Also, Spencer Anderson at guard, and that's a C-. Show's looking at depth, though. The simulator doesn't understand. Yeah, we need people to come in and compete because a lot of people don't feel that strong about Brendel. Although he graded out well last year. Fam, do you remember Jake Brendel getting blown up much up the center? I don't really recall any time when I says, you have the wrong mock. Oh, no. So is that not reading the same as I'm reading? Because this is what I thought I gave to production last night. Okay. So we'll make that correction here in just a little bit, okay? Meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead with this. Spencer Anderson at number 314, that's a C-. Okay. Okay. Let me continue. We're trying to get that straightened out here. Sorry, show. Antoine Spencer at wide receiver. It's a C+. A C. Okay. And you know what? If it's not a D or below, I'm okay with that. Sometimes these guys, the people involved, don't really know what they're talking about with these simulators. Anyway, I don't know how they program them. I have an idea how they program them. Anyway, cornerback Cameron Brown, A-. I guess if you stick to Ohio State, show. You can't buy it as long as you pull from Ohio State. Some schools just have those kind of players that are A-listers. Also, kicker Jake Moody, of course, and that's a C+. That's going to be the last pick for that round 7. Round 7 right there. Show, can we pick up Jake in round 7? That's going to be interesting. All right. Because we're not the only team, and the Dallas Cowboys need a kicker. Man, they need a kicker bad. I mean, they lost games. They nearly lost games last year because of that. So, yeah. All right, now, hopefully we got the right draft up for show right now. You can take a quick look at that, and we'll leave that up there for a bit. Show my apologies. Let me get over here and get back to the... All right, fam. Now, show's draft, I'm going to tie that up with what's coming up with John Lynch's presser on Monday was pretty interesting. But barring any blockbuster trades, the Niners might take it easy during the first day of the draft. Might. I really. You know what, though? We already know the 49ers cannot afford to be going to get no first-round pick. It's going to be too expensive anyway. No matter who it is, what position, or what number he is in the first round, he's too expensive for what the 49ers are trying to do at this particular time. The Niners don't own a selection until the end of the second day, unless, more about that in a minute, on Friday night, they'll make their first selection, which is number 99 overall in theory, or projected to, or supposed to. The good guys own 11 picks, though. Will they use them all is the question. The Niners held 9 picks entering last year's draft and finished the event with 9 newbies. There was no movement when it came to the team's draft slots. That may not necessarily have been the plan last year. And the reason I think that may be the case is just John Lynch is already talking. He is quoted saying, I think what you start doing is saying, hey, if all the players we like are starting to go, okay, now, is this an opportunity for us to move up and go get one of the last few that we really have a high grade on? Those things can factor in, unquote. Fam, translation, as far as I'm concerned, what does that mean? That means we could see some movement on Friday. Oh, God, I get excited because when you're sitting there on day 2, we're waiting for number 99. That's a long way to go. And all of a sudden, you see across the ticker at the bottom, the 49ers have made a trade with blah, blah, blah to move up. And that's you go, they got a target. They got a target. Ah, get them, Niners. Get man. Get it. You know, that's part of the draft fun. The Niners own 3 of the final 4 selections of the night, which they could use as a package to move up. They could. There are other package options as well. When you have 11 picks on a roster, that would be fine without the draft. If the season started this Sunday, because the 49ers, I'm telling you right now, we don't have extreme needs like we have in the past. Something like what the Rams have right now. We don't have that. We can go to war this Sunday and kick some ass. But why? When you can go get a few more gems to add to the future, unlike LA. I love this stuff. Since John Lynch and Coach Shanahan arrived in San Francisco, the Niners have been consistent in their mantra about trading players. They consistently say they listen to calls about any player in order to do their due diligence. And that tune changed this past Monday. As I mentioned, Lynch in the pre-draft press conference was asked about the possibility of trading several players. A question about Nick and whether the team received calls about trading him got Lynch back off. Back off. We listened to that. We listened to everything. Response, no, we're not listening to that. Man, here's the thing about it. I said that Lynch said when asked about Bosa's availability in his contract negotiations, quote, yeah, that hotline's closed. That never opened. As for the other thing, we're going to focus on this draft. And then I've stated many times that's a priority for this offseason. John, you didn't say that last year, though, John, you know, when Debo was crying and cleaning off his walls and washing it down with Lysol with all the 49ers stuff on it. History says, though, that we have a really, this is John Lynch, history says we have a really good track record of doing that and making that come to fruition. I'm excited about working on that when the time comes, unquote. All right. Bosa fam is entering the 5th and final year of his rookie season, contract, as I say, and the second off season where he's been eligible to receive that extension. But Nick was brilliant. Nick's agent is brilliant. His mom, his dad, everybody in the family, they're a football family. They know what to do. But not signing a long-term deal last year was the right thing to do. It paid off for Nick, who led the NFL in sacks in 2022, better than Aaron Donald, and earned the league's DPOY. Maybe we should change Nick's name to DPOY. DPOY. He's on track now to become the highest-paid player in football. As has been the trend, the Niners will likely wait until late into the offseason to sign Bosa. No worries, fam. The negotiations will trickle into the first days of training camp, most likely, but there's no indication the Niners are worried about getting a deal done. So, fam, don't be sucked in by the media because they're going to come in there stirring the pot, throwing like the, hey, the 49ers, blah, 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 has made an offer. The 49ers are listening. No, they're not. No, they're not. If you say, fam, if you see any reporter starting that, go after him. I am. Dude, your unnamed source. Who's your unnamed source? Your mama? And she don't, look, man, no. Just stop it. I just don't. And God, I hate that. Nick's not going anywhere. The roster's going to continue to be expensive, though, fam. Decisions will have to be made about which good players to keep and which good players to let go. I think 49ers have got it down now. We got our A-listers and we got our other guys. We're going to keep all the A-listers for sure, unless we just can't avoid that and let the guys, the second-level guys, or the next-level guys go. And that, that started. DeForest Buckner trade was the first sample of that particular situation getting underway after having reached the Super Bowl. And that's when we pretty much established ourselves as a team that's going to be in the mix from that point on. That unfortunate misery could happen again over the next couple of seasons, though, because we got guys that have been a part of our core and have been big contributors that are going to have to be re-signed again. Now, that means for an even larger contract that they had, right? So there's going to be other players who are going to be in there offering more money. So as they're sitting out there saying, look, I can get more from Texas. Who? You want to play for Texas? Go ahead. But Texas may become a power here in a couple of years, though, because they got D'Amico over there. They've got all the draft picks and all that money. That's all it takes to get a team out. Look at Detroit. Detroit's no longer everybody's whipping boy. Already one player, even the Jaguars, same thing. Already one player on the radar of NFL teams is Brandon Aiyuk. Lynch on Monday in his pre-draft press conference was asked about Brandon's availability and whether the team has received any calls on him. We can assume yes from Lynch's answer, which was, quote, I'm not going to get into specifics on people. We love Brandon Aiyuk, and I'm excited about Brandon being a part of this team, so I'll just leave it at that. Given Lynch's, here's the thing. Given Lynch's dodgy responses about T. Lance, his choice to not get into specifics is interesting, isn't it? He didn't mind getting into specifics about Trey, but he doesn't want to talk about Brandon. Let us speculate, as we love to do. Phil, I hope you're coming in tonight, too. I love when you come in and pour cool water on the flames before they start. So because Lynch may have offered too much information on Lance, so he, on the Aiyuk question, thought to back off, tone it down. If I may borrow a phrase from the Mandalorians, it is not the way. Phil, I mean, Brian Lynch. What? That's the first time I'd ever noticed that John Lynch had finally lost composure. When John Lynch, he's excellent at going to his media conference. As smooth as a Maserati turning curves, man. Because the dude is, he screwed up. I read that real quickly. Could mean there were some real discussions with the team on Aiyuk that Lynch didn't really want to talk about, as far as I'm thinking. There's a chance also that earlier reporting from ESPN's Nick Wagner on the team receiving calls about trading BA may have ruffled some feathers, and Lynch didn't want to roll down that path again. Stay tuned on that, fam. It's got to be tough being an NFL spokesperson for an organization anyway. But a follow-up question about Aiyuk's long-term involvement with the team offered a more positive outlook for his future with the club. Lynch went in and said, now, you can't keep everyone. We're trying to do something special this year, and Brandon is going to be a part of that and beyond as well. And so, yes, you always have to think out a few years, but we're really excited about Brandon. I feel like he made another big step last year, and I think the best is yet to come, and so we want him being a part of it. And at some point, you have to figure things out, and I guess we'll take that as it comes. But as of right now and into the future, we're really excited about Brandon Aiyuk and where he is as a pro. The work he's done to develop as a pro and become one of our core players here. See, because what that also says is that the 49ers pick up, they're going to pick up a wide receiver each and every year anyway. Let's see what level of wide receiver, how good is the wide receiver going to be? And if in the second round they're looking at somebody and they trade up, bounce from the third to the second, watch that pick, okay? Watch that pick. It will definitely speak volumes on what the 49ers are thinking. I can't wait. If they move up And he's already alluded to the fact that it is possible. The problem Niners will encounter soon is whether they can afford to pay both wide receivers, Aiyuk and Debo Samuel. We've had that question passed around amongst us. A lot of people have said they'll get rid of Debo. Aiyuk has 2 years left on his rookie contract, which gives the 49ers a little wiggle room. This is a good place for the team to be. They have plenty of good players, and paying them is going to require some tough calls from the front office. That's just the reality of the situation. We're going to get mad within the next 3 to 4 seasons, fam. There's no way around it. You can't pay as many great players as the 49ers have the money they feel they've earned, and the money they deserve, and the monies that other teams can pay them. We're not Los Angeles. We're not going into cap hell after going to a championship game. That's not the way it works. To build a dynasty, you have to be intelligent. You can't be like LA. It doesn't work, as they're showing you. They're about to go into the darkness that you're never going to believe for the next 10 years. That's what happens when you act stupid. If B has another great year, though, and a huge offer from a team comes in for Aiyuk, and the Niners may have to make that deal. But it doesn't sound like they're trying to hear that right now. Fam, we got to become hardened, don't we? We got to become like the New England Patriot fans as they watch some blue chip players walk away at some time soon. I have a feeling a lot of people probably don't believe it, but once Shanahan and Lynch finally get all the kinks worked out in the red and gold machine, they are going to roll. Because these guys are really sharp. They just got a couple of pieces to tweak and get better. They need a quarterback that can stay on his feet for at least the full schedule. And that'll probably wrap it up. Get ready, Patrick Mahomes. There's a new kid in town coming up soon. Hey, you know what? Let me get to the phone. Oh, here he is. Jack made an announcement already. Saying, I'll let him tell you. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick, Jack come over the candlestick. Jack! Yeah, and we didn't want to make Jack wait too long tonight because he is in the UK.
Good morning from England, everybody. We're staying humble today, and I just want to start off this by saying, you know what, I just heard back the last one, and I want to openly apologize to everybody. All your inputs are great. Love you guys. It's been a long time coming, and, I'm the Terrell Owens of this show, so, I speak a lot, but I do a lot. You know what I'm saying? I always win, but I want to say Big Show's amazing at what he does. And Papa John, it's great that you went to rehab and came out. And everybody out there, you know what I'm saying? You guys are doing a wonderful job. But,
wait.
You know what I'm saying?
Papa John?
The
pizza guy?
Papa Dragon.
Yeah. Come on, Jack. I know it's early in the morning, but
everybody,
come on.
It takes an all-star to like Chad Johnson to talk highly of Terrell Owens, because I'm never going to be in the Hall of Fame of Ronbo Sports. Don't be knocked for what I've done, right? But every year I give it to you like you want it. And this year, it is difficult because we're in the third round. Last year was annoying. This year's like, damn, now we're in the third round. What do we do, man? How do you even, do this? But there's people that I really like. I mean, like the tackle that show said, but the lack of tackles in this year's draft, he's not going to be there in the third round. You know what I'm saying? I like Darnell Washington, the tight end from Georgia, but he's not going to be there. Byron Young, the edge from Tennessee, he's not going to be there unless we get some kind of trade. So, third round, I worked my magic. Last year was George Pickens, and Ronbo see why I picked George Pickens. So, here it goes, baby. Drum roll, please, Ronbo.
Boom.
With the 99th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, your San Francisco 49ers select Jack from Modesto, baby. Let's go. Come on, man. You can't have me picking 3 rounds, man. Come on, man. Have me on the squad. No. On the real tip, who is my draft crush is definitely, it has to be Nick Herbig. Nick Herbig from Wisconsin, the defensive end. I want to push him to linebacker. You guys are going to forget about Aziz Al-Shire, who's gone. So Nick Herbig is my pick this year for our first selection. Have you heard of him?
No, but when you mention him, I'm curious because last time you mentioned somebody that checked into him, and I've been in love with Pickens since I switched out our first year, and I wish to God that would have been possible, but no, I don't know.
So 6'2", 240 pounds. This guy's a defensive end, 11 sacks. You know what I'm saying? Same, you know, where the brothers came from. Who's on Pittsburgh?
Pickens. Oh yeah.
But, yeah. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is somebody I think who can change his skills because he's a football player and become a linebacker from D end. So, you know, it's kind of tricky this year, but I just see something. This guy is a real hidden gem, Ronbo. And I just feel like Steve Wilkes, the way he can utilize him and blitz packages, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be fucking off the hook if we get this kid.
What's his name again?
Check out Nick Herbig, Herbig. Right. Google that, folks. And I'll see you guys on draft night. That's all I got to say, man. Love all you guys, man. It's going down, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, and by the way, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we're not going to get these guys, but later on, a draft steal will be Carter Warren, the guy who protected the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. He's a senior. He's coming off an injury, but check out Carter Warren. And
Carter.
Yeah, I can't wait for draft night. But after the first and second night, that's when I'm going to really give it to y'all with whoever's left over, or if Trey Lance does get traded back. All right, shining out of London, England, and we love you guys. Okay.
All right. To the Union Jack and Jack. Jack wants to start calling you the Union Jack from America. Jack, good stuff. I love your energy.
Why, thank you, sir.
All right.
Why, thank you, sir. Have a great night now. All right. See you on draft night. Peace.
There he goes, Jack. Jack. And let's go check out Bill.
Give me a minute.
Yes, indeed. You want us to come back?
No, I'm back. I'm just receiving something more. I was waiting.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you, y'all are making the wrong prediction. This sounds like a Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch move. The 99th pick in the overall draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Jack Hayner.
All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put names next to these picks. Now, why do you like Jack Hayner?
I don't like Jack Hayner, but it looks like a Kyle Shanahan crush to me. It looks like a thing Kyle would do. I mean to tell you, if he's going to go after Jack Hayner, Trey Lance is being traded. That's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If Jack Hayner's on the roster, look for Trey Lance to be traded before the 99th pick. If you see Trey Lance traded, it's because he's going after Jack Hayner. That's what they're going to pick first.
Now what's your opinion of Jack Hayner, though? Now, why Jack Hayner, and why do you suspect the 49ers are going to pick him?
Because he's supposed to be a Brock Purdy 2.0,
okay,
according to a lot of leaks. And it's a lot of people saying it's a Kyle Shanahan crush. We'll see. I hope I'm
Bill,
wrong.
do they have any substantial evidence as to that being true, though? I mean, where'd that come from?
That's been the blow-up from the beginning to the recent to all that. It's a Kyle Shanahan crush like Macaroni Jones.
Wait, I just realized something. Is Hayner that kid from Fresno?
I think.
Oh.
Yeah, The only thing that would stop it is if someone else picks up Jack Hayner before we could get there. And I'm crossing my fingers. Please do so, because if not, he's going to pick up Jack Hayner. That's who's going to go. I'm gonna call it. He's going to grab a quarterback because he didn't go after Aaron. He wasn't going to go after Aaron. He has his eyes on Jack Hayner. That's who he's got his eyes on. That's why he didn't trade for Aaron. He wants Jack Hayner.
You know, but why would you get something just like Purdy and you got Purdy? Wouldn't you want to get...
Because Purdy's supposed to be out for a year.
Oh, Jack, I mean, Bill, that's not been... He's on pace for the prediction of when he should be able to return.
So according to Grant Cohn and a few others, he's out for the season.
No, please don't tell me Grant said that. Grant said that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We'll see.
No, well, hopefully it's wrong, but if they pick up Jack Hayner, then the rumors are true. So if Jack Hayner is the very first pick we pick in the draft, if we trade up. If they said the 49ers trade up, expect Lance to be in that package. Expect Trey Lance to be in that package. I promise you, you better. It's going to happen. And most likely to the Texans.
Hey, well, John Lynch, I don't know. You can't tell anymore when he's serious or not. I don't know.
He said at his press conference from listening to him, he didn't want to trade him, but I don't believe him. He blows so much smoke that I can't believe what's coming out of his mouth. I just whatever. So that's how I expect the draft to go. We're not going to trade up in the first. Get some sleep. I'm not even going to bother watching the first because I know we ain't going to get nothing in the first. It's Fridays when the big news is going to happen. And if you hear a trade up, you know what's happening. And it ain't Aiyuk, it's Trey.
Remember Bill mentioned it first. Well, actually, you're not the first one to mention that, Bill. That sentiment is flowing about the halls of the Niner Empire.
Right.
It's just really a tough call to make. Bill, see, the 49ers, they need somebody who knows the offense. And Shanahan does not have time to train 3 guys. 1, 2. Yeah, Brock's out there. He's got to train. He would have to train.
Rebuild year.
And the thing is, you have to train.
We're in rebuild now.
What? Rebuild?
Rebuild, because he would have got an all-star quarterback. We're on rebuild. Don't expect nothing big.
Bill, you understand?
I know I hate to bust your bubble, but that's what it looks like.
I'm saying, the 49ers, their thinking now is to get a serviceable quarterback in there and let the Army do the fighting. And they're not.
Nah, I don't believe it.
Okay.
I can't. You gotta entertain me any other way. I might make a lot of people mad, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up. If it happens, it's great. If we win the Super Bowl, it's great. I'll be like a kid. On Christmas, I got my favorite game system. But if not, I expect nothing but a bag of coal.
Listen, you're going to the playoffs, whether you want to go or not. I'm telling you right now, the 49ers have too many weapons. We're not about to rebuild with guys like Trent Williams didn't sign up for this. There's no way he's going to come here in for a rebuild. George Kittle, Fred Warner. How many Pro Bowlers, Bill, do you think we can carry? They're going to sit around.
Next draft pick is a tight end.
Huh?
The next draft pick's a tight end, and then the pick after that's going to be a tackle. I'm out. Give me a 49er shout out. We're rebuilding.
Okay. Shout out! Bill, it's going to be my pleasure, Bill. Bill, I told you.
And one more thing, Ronbo, I got something to say to all you Cowboy fans out there. No matter if we're on rebuild or we're winning, we're still going to beat you. Have a nice day. I'm out.
You too. Night, Bill. We're not going on a rebuild. Well, it's a big show. Hey, see,
what's up, Ronbo?
Big show. Yeah, I was watching Herbick, or who said Jack mentioned Nick.
It's Jake Hayner from Fresno State, and we hosted him here in Santa Clara, along with Jordan Mims and Jalen Moreno-Cropper, a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so
that's when as soon as I realized the name belongs to that kid in Fresno, I said, "Oh, yeah, I did."
I tend to agree with Bill. I think that's one of our selections of the 3 quarterbacks that I had in my pocket, and I just chose Tanner McKee because he's got a better arm than Jake Hayner. He's 6'4", and he's got that size and athleticism that we need at the quarterback position, and he's a Stanford boy, and we all know how much John Lynch loves those Stanford players.
Right? Yeah. Well, only 1 in 10 are going to get into Stanford, so that means his IQ is already up there before he even started thinking about football.
Yeah. Christian McCaffrey really, or I'm not Christian McCaffrey, but Oh my gosh, who was the
CMC.
player?
No, you're right.
Sam
McCaffrey's.
Darnold. Sam Darnold wanted to go to Stanford, but said he wasn't, quote, smart enough for them to get in. So he ended up
Stanford's
playing at
serious about
USC.
that.
And
Yeah, you can't come in there with weak academics.
And so the whole premise and the focal point of my draft obviously was we're going to be moving off of Trey Lance. I have a 50-50 feeling it's going to happen at some point in the draft this year because they've clearly moved off of him. They're no longer in love with him, and they've already named Brock Purdy quarterback 1, regardless of the status of his health or not. And I believe the status of his health is on track for him to be ready for week 1 or week 4. And that is exactly why we brought in Sam Darnold right away, because they also expressed their love for him since 2018. They've been a fan of his, and they've tried to get him in 2021, and they finally did not hesitate to bring him here in 2023. And Sam Darnold was extremely.
I want you to reflect on something really quickly here, though. How do you go in and convince Jed York? If I'm Jed York, I'm sitting there, I'm watching this, I'm thinking, you guys got this circus going on that you've been doing great things, but this is something please explain to me why I should think this is okay. I mean, you're gonna get rid of, you traded up, we lost 2 years of first round picks, and now
which is okay because the history of their first round picks is not that great. I mean, they've only hit on 2 first round picks out of the 7 years they've been here. So
there is that.
I mean, it's okay because we're a winning culture right now, and we can afford to move off of that. And not only that, and like I said, they fell out of love with him, and we don't need to have a quarterback controversy going into training camp with the headlines, Sam Darnold's having a great week. Trey Lance is having a great week. Brock Purdy's having a great week. Jake Keener's having a great week.
We've done it every year.
We can't.
So I that's the only thing. The 49ers as the locker room, they're probably used to it. They expect it. Maybe I don't. But you got a solid point.
At some point, at the back of their heads, they're getting really, frankly, tired of it, and they just want their guy. They just want to stick with one guy, and they want to win a championship. That's the bottom line. And who's giving you the better chance of that in that quarterback room right now? And that's Brock Purdy, who's averaged about 35 points a game when he was in there. And that's the whole focal point of my draft when I presented it to you, was to trade Trey Lance to the Texans, where I believe he best fits. And the 2 other teams in my pocket were Tennessee and Minnesota, where he's from. And Tennessee is looking to move off of Ryan Tannehill, so look out for that team to jump in the Trey Lance sweepstakes.
And plus,
but I have a feeling that the Texans are first in line and want him because right now in their quarterback room they have oh my gosh, Davis Mills and Case Keenum.
You don't like Davis?
No, come on, he's not their future.
Texas would be they're at the top of each round in the draft.
And I think they're going to go defense with their. I think they're going to go defense with their first 2 overall picks, knowing the pedigree of and where the coaching position that oh my gosh, D'Amico Ryans was in. I think he's going to select Will Anderson and Kalijah Campbell at number 12, Will Anderson at number 2, and then they'll trade us their 2nd round pick for Trey Lance, and we'll be selecting a right tackle at that position to bolster up our offensive line, which is the whole premise of my draft. And DeJuan Jones, if he's there, or Darnell Wright, if he's there, we would select one of those tackles to solidify that right position, because I don't think they're comfortable going into this year with Colton McKivitz starting at right tackle. That's ridiculous. If they're telling you they're content with that, they're lying out of their ass on that position right there.
They don't want to send
because Colton McKivitz is not better than Mike McGlinchey, and that he's not better than some of the right tackle positions.
There. You got a good point, because you don't want to send a panic throughout the Niner Empire by letting them know, listen, we're a little concerned about that right tackle. The 49ers will never make you feel like they're uncomfortable with any of their players. You notice that?
Yeah.
Unless they really piss them off.
John Lynch has a tail, and he always either scratches his head or he rubs his arm or something like that when he's
body language
telling a lie about a player. You can totally tell about that. Every press conference, you can tell like he's telling a lie about a player if he likes somebody, and he'll do something opposite. Like, you just pay attention to the body language; it speaks for itself.
Yeah. Sometimes
Like he said,
sentences, too.
DeForest Buckner is going to be. Like he said, DeForest Buckner is going to be a 49er for a long time. That was a complete lie, because somebody threw a first-round pick in his face, and if somebody throws a second-round pick in his face for Trey Lance, goodbye, Trey. He'll have no hesitation to do that, especially if there's a right tackle right there that he likes, and they'll be selecting that right tackle right away.
That would be too much. They wouldn't dodge that, actually.
And as far as Blake Freeland goes, he is the perfect candidate to sit behind Trent Williams for a year to develop and learn from him and build his body up even more. He is already an athletic freak. I don't know his measurables off the top of my head, but he's at least 6'6" and over 300 pounds and very, very athletic, not out of shape to be a perfect Trent Williams replacement when he eventually retires, because he contemplated it this year. And I don't expect him to be here after 2023. I really don't.
All right. So you know what?
He's getting older.
I'm gonna hold on to your draft, and Show's gonna join.
Yeah,
join
one more player, the quarterback position that I picked, Tanner McKee. It was between Tanner McKee and Jay Kaner for me, but I chose Tanner McKee obviously because of the Stanford connection, and John Lynch has been obviously scouting him for a very long time. They went to a few of his games this year. They went to his pro day, and it's right up the street from us, and that's
makes it
pretty obvious. If he's there, they're going to take him.
So
as we take a quarterback, then there's no room for Trey here anymore. He's obviously been dealt.
We just previewed tonight because I said I would tonight, but we're gonna do it again. Show's gonna join me on the draft opening night. We're gonna go over some things, and Show is going to be able to pinpoint to you who's getting who and how it's going to improve their team. So Show.
And there's one more. If you don't mind giving me 30 more seconds, there's one more player I want.
Okay, so it's going to go too long. So we got to do the draft, but draft night, okay? Just before the draft starts. I'll get you in early. All right. Yo, Jalen.
Cardinals, y'all irrelevant. Rams, y'all some bums. Seahawks ain't won a ring in 20 years. I know that can't be fun. Yeah. Ronbo, what's the word, man? What's the word?
I mean, we're looking at it's like the funny thing about the Show pointed out, John Lynch sitting up there sweating as he was talking. Jalen, can you imagine having all these secrets, right? You and your boys been talking in the office. All right, John, your press conference is about 5 minutes away. You gonna be able to make that? Yeah, I'm on my way. And you're in a hurry. You get there and you forget and you say too damn much. Some of the things he said were telling. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah. And if Brandon Aiyuk is on the move, don't be surprised. But go ahead. What are you thinking?
Well, man, Ronbo, I was gonna come in with the same stuff I always come in with. You know how I feel about Kyle now at this point. I'm done saying we need to fire him. Dog, your contract is up in 2025. Do whatever you gotta do. But when that contract is up in 2025, if we don't have a ring, you don't need a third contract. Period, point blank. Because at that point, we rebuilding. Why are we rebuilding with him again? So you got till 2025. Your contract is on the line. Second, I got to slander these nasty West worms. Because I'm getting real sick and tired of these Rams and these. Ronbo, I just don't understand how you can come in another team's podcast and sit here for 2.5 hours and listen to them. Pop in, I understand that, Ronbo. Pop in, okay, I get it. You the first one to show up and the last to leave, Ronbo. The first to show up and the last to leave. And here you go, Ronbo. Here go Rudy typing his classic low blow shot that he gonna say to all the young 49ers fans. Polar hasn't seen a ring in 25 years. Well, you know what I have seen, Rudy? Yeah. I've seen respect, Rudy. I've seen respect. I've seen teams respect my team. You know what comes with respect, Ronbo? Rivalries. Yeah. And how many rivalries do the Rams have?
I don't know if any.
Not many. Got about zero, don't they? How many rivalries do the 49ers have? Plenty around the league. You know why? Because teams respect us. Teams don't respect the Rams.
And we've been to war with those teams. Yes. We've been to war with the Rams how many times? 2, 3 times? And they finally got lucky and slipped by.
2, 3 times, Ronbo.
I know.
Rudy,
And
congratulations.
I mean,
Y'all won
really.
2 rings in 20 years. Y'all won 2 rings in 20 years. We won 5 and 13.
And Jalen, amplify on this point too. He said, "You guys been struggling since '94." Well, hell, we weren't struggling beating his ass.
How much
That's what it kills
respect
me.
have y'all
You
gotten
know?
since 1994? How much respect have y'all gotten around the league since 1994? What's your fan base? Has your fan base increased? You've gotten passed from LA to St. Louis back to LA. Your cities didn't want you. Your fans don't show up to your parades. You don't have podcasts. And you come in here trying to clown us.
You bought a
Rumble, we
team,
give them
a bunch of
the light of day.
mercenaries, and left. And now they look like garbage, and there'll be a dumpster fire for years. And that's why we spanked and pistol whipped Rudy in Twitter. Now we've all decided to just ignore him. He's in there throwing these little weak takes up. We see you. What you talking? You ain't saying nothing. That's why ain't nobody answering you. God.
I mean, he's saying the same stuff. Ronbo, Call hasn't seen anything in 25 years. Dog, y'all have not gotten any respect around the league. You have no rivalries. Who has rivalries with the Rams?
And nobody. And accusing 49er fans of being bandwagoners because of the couple of slow years we had. In '94, the Rams set a record for having the biggest drop-off in fan attendance of any team in NFL history. Yet he says, "You guys are a bunch of bandwagoners." How are we going to be a band? See, these are things that are ludicrous. The man has not taken his medication in days.
Rombo, don't even get me started on them Seattle River Ducks, because Gene D, one thing you can't run from is father time. And guess what? 2013 getting farther and farther away. It's been a decade, my brother. And Costco Josh Johnson, aka Geno Smith, I'm not seeing him going to those Super Bowls. You
That
can
could
add
happen.
3 to that 10. It's going to be 13. You best believe it's going to be almost 18 years before y'all even see a championship round. I promise you that. Pete Carroll might not even be here. So it might be longer than that, Rombo. Pete might not be coaching here. We don't even know who they coach is finna be in 5 years. Y'all finna be down the drain too. Y'all finna be down the drain too. Too drain. And I'm not gonna say nothing about the Cardinals, Rombo. Just good luck to y'all. The Seahawks and Rams, y'all can piss on it, man. Y'all can piss on it for real.
Him, McVay and Carroll both be sitting back on doing shows on broadcast booths and things like that. Yeah, when I had that club, they were this, and this, and we pretty much had a grip on this particular situation. But right now, things seem to be out of control. You can see it coming because the organization is not built out of concrete; it's built out of wood chips. And that's why it's crumbling to the dirt. See, that's
exactly, Rombo. They don't have a foundation. We got a good foundation to where anytime we break down, we got a good foundation to build on. The Rams don't got a foundation. We don't know if they foundation in LA, is it in St. Louis, is it in Vegas? We don't know where it's at. Is it in a Coliseum? Where is it at?
Their foundation is called the What is that one? GoFundMe. Because the fact is they can't pay anybody anymore. Oh, that's so easy to take shots at them.
It's foolishness, Rombo, and I need to learn from the older generation because y'all just so much more patient. Because I don't understand how you sit here and just allow this clown to be like this every day.
You just realize the intelligence level is below your own and have the integrity to not stoop to that level. You'll learn that as you go along. There's Rudy's and others. They've always been there. You feed that troll, and he'll keep eating. If you don't, he'll starve to death. So, I already stopped feeding the one in Twitter. Rudy, I'm done, man. It's all yours.
And Rombo,
unless some of the other guys want to take up your case. Go ahead.
You said it the other day, Rombo. I forgot all about it. We so worried about the right tackle position. Trent Williams is not getting any younger, Rombo. Right. So we really need to. This window is closing. Faithful, I understand. I'm not being negative, but our window is gonna close. These people are human. Fred Warner, Eric Armstead, Javon, they're not gonna be young forever. So we have to get this ring because eventually we're going to have to rebuild too.
But Jay, that's why the 49ers, in the manner they're going, they're making sure to keep padding up those positions so when somebody emerges, they'll be able to take over. I'm looking forward to the next 2 years actually to see how they go about doing this. Well, we'll see.
I'm looking forward to the next 2 decades from these 2 clowns in our division.
Man, Jalen, we're gonna go. I tell you what, I'll see you on draft night, and we'll talk about that.
Man, Ronbo, you know we still the kings of the West.
Mm.
Kyler need a 2-year rest.
Yep.
And Gene D and Rudy finna leave this chat crying because they know the 49ers are the best. Ronbo, let me get a Niners shout out, man. Let me get a Niners shout out. 10 years, Gene D. 10 years since y'all won a ring. And the Raiders, y'all lost to Nick Mullins on national TV. Don't forget that. I ain't gonna forget that.
Jalen, your poetry is something that actually should be made public for everybody to read. I do enjoy it so. All right. Jalen, have a great night, fam. And Brian, of whom I've got to stop abusing. Brian, get into me. Brian.
It's my turn. It's my turn.
It is your turn. It is definitely your turn. Come on in, Brian.
How you been?
Good. Pretty much, as I said, stretching myself a little too thin, but still having fun. Brian, but you're on my list, my priority list of top things to attend to. Believe me. But Brian,
I'll always be there.
Right,
You know how to get a hold of me, and we can always get to that whenever we need to get to that. But and I don't sleep very often either, so if you're up at night, you can always try to reach out to me.
Okay, well in that case.
Hey, yeah, if I don't get to you, I'll get to you. You know how it is. But you just gotta try, and I'll be there. But what do you think about the Niners going after like a wide receiver this draft?
Inevitable. Yeah, this is the thing. This is a pet peeve, or not a pet peeve. This is one of those fetishes that Kyle Shanahan has. He has to get a running back, no matter when it is. He's got to get a running back, and he's definitely got to get a wide receiver. Kyle played wide receiver, or at least he tried to, remember? So this is the thing. Kyle's always looking for the elusive wide receiver. He wants to find his Diggs. He wants to define his Devontae. That's why he got so excited. Remember that year when he drafted BA and he was spinning around in a chair? I've never seen him like that. When the COVID situation going on and he was at home and the camera was on him, it wasn't candid. It was candid and Kyle was just going nuts. He really loves wide receivers. So he'll be looking. I can't imagine who it's going to be, though.
I like the wide receiver from UCLA, Jake Bobo. That's his name. And he's the one that UCLA DTR was throwing to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like the only guy he was throwing to. But I'd like to see him. And there's another guy, I don't think a lot of people have heard about him. He's kind of under the radar. But there's a guy named Boogie Nights. That would be like awesome.
I like him already.
Wouldn't he sell jerseys?
God, his name is
right?
Boogie Nights? God, that's awesome.
Boogie Nights. Yeah, look him up. He's a wide receiver, and he's like, I think he's gonna be pretty good on our team. At least sell a jersey.
Let me get this straight. Did you say Boogie Nights or Boogie Nice?
Boogie Nights.
You
Like
did.
Yep. Yep.
I can't wait to go look him up. All right,
I think he plays for. Well, he plays in Louisiana. So type in Boogie Nights, Louisiana, and it'll pop up.
His mom and dad couldn't.
I'm not sure if he also played for Ohio because I looked him up a couple times, but he's interesting. And then everybody we need a kicker unless somehow some way we sign Robbie back. I know everybody says that's not a chance. There's no chance. No, stop it. There's always a chance until he's signed.
Is. People think Robbie's bluffing.
Yeah, and it just makes sense right now that they hold off on signing a lot of people right now because they have to get everybody under the cap. They have to sign everybody, and then there could still be a couple of like major draft trades or something could happen where we might need extra money. But with that being said, there's like 4 guys we can restructure, and I think a lot of people already know the guys' names and stuff, but there's always a way. I called into you last time, and I said we can get like $30 million if we restructure people the right way.
They can recover that much, huh?
They can get up to $30 million. There's Armstead, there's CMC. You don't really want to touch Trent Williams because he's already threatening to retire. Armstead, I think I said him. There's Kittle. We could restructure him again. There's a lot of people. And, Fred Warner, I believe, it's who wants to make that deal. And it's really interesting with, CMC because he doesn't have any guaranteed money anymore. So, he doesn't have any incentives. So if they redo his deal, then he'll have something to play for. And I think he already has something to play for. I think he's trying to win a Super Bowl. But
well, yeah,
that, I think, was probably the biggest thing that we did last year is get CMC. I really do.
He's a game changer,
funny.
no doubt. Yeah, and now you got 3 game changers. That's really tough.
It's funny, Kyle really does seem to go after some of his guys, doesn't he? Hoyer was his guy. Jordan Reed was his guy. I know, he likes. I don't like Kirk Cousins, but he likes Kirk Cousins. CMC, he likes CMC.
Yeah.
CMC and his family go back way back. His dad coached his dad.
That's right.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. And then Sam Darnold, Kyle wanted Sam Darnold when he came out, so that's really interesting. And he's actually he fell to us. So it's really funny. I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, he's garbage," and I've even joked and said the guy sees ghosts, but that was bad teams he was on, and he's still a first-round draft pick. So,
yeah.
I mean,
also, Brad, did you?
If you go and say this,
no, I was just going to mention. You did hear CMC mention that what people didn't know is Sam Darnold was playing in hurt and pain a lot when he was at Carolina.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And he also referenced something to the Jets. He wasn't doing very well with the Jets, and he just kept his mouth shut and did what he needed to do.
Tough guy.
So
that's an asset. But if you are hurt, you got to let everybody know so you're not out there embarrassing yourself and hurting the team. But yeah, the attitude is good.
So it's really funny when you have that kind of situation that happens because now we have Kyle's guys, right? And you can't really say that first round pick is a bust until they've played, right?
Right.
But then if they move to a different team and they do better at that team, was there a bust or was it the system? I don't really care as long as we win a Super Bowl.
Yeah, and getting there is first, and then don't lose it.
So I know we've been talking a little bit about the draft and stuff, and people's popped in and stuff and said Kyle should be fired after so many years of not getting to the Super Bowl or winning it. But what's the next option after that? And I think that's the big question right there is, are we afraid to cut Kyle loose because he might go somewhere else and win a Super Bowl, or are we tired of Kyle? Is Kyle the reason we're not winning a Super Bowl?
Well, Jed's already sold on the fact that Super Bowls aren't that easy to win. And if the 49ers remain competitive for the next 2 to 3 years, there's going to be a lot of people pissed off if we don't get that Super Bowl because Jed's not going to fire. He's not going to fire Kyle. If we're still winning and making the playoffs and narrowly losing games that we should have won or won had there been a different fluke, because we keep losing on flukes. Those are going to stop at some point. I think Jed really believes that. Hell, I believe that. So, yeah. You're not going to get rid of a competitive coach and go get somebody you got to test out.
Yeah, I don't see them getting rid of Kyle anytime soon, even if he doesn't win the Super Bowl in the next 5 or 6 years. I really don't. I don't think that's maybe the best decision, but Kyle and Jed are friends, and maybe that's our problem. Maybe their problem is they're friends. But
and honestly, Brian, if you're winning games like the 49ers are winning, at least you have a shot. You potentially could win it. Now, if you get another guy in here and he changes everything and we start going 7-10 and things like that, well, now we're back at square one. It's like all that was built by John and Kyle just goes down the toilet. Why? Because we weren't happy that we didn't win the Super Bowl. We were right in it every year and maybe lost by a broken arm quarterback or a quarterback that had a bad arm and a bad foot and the left tackle's foot was dragging. These are things that no matter who the coach is, it's not going to matter. You got to have certain people that have got to be healthy out there, So that's why I said I can't,
and you can't
blame
say
it all on the coach.
Yeah, and you can't say it's bad luck. You can't say it's one person. It just happened. If Kyle could go out there and play quarterback, I'm sure he would. But that's not the situation. Then you could put all the blame on the guy. But to say okay, he calls the plays exactly. But then the players have to go out there and execute. And if the player says, hey, I'm going to run and scramble, and they break their ankle. 2 players ended up breaking their ankle because they chose to run. So do we have that bad of an offensive line? Or are these guys getting impatient? I mean, at the end of the day, everybody has to lay down and, say, hey, I made that decision.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to trust the process. I don't think anybody's getting traded this draft pick. I don't think there's really any real reason to trade up to any position. I think we just
Brian,
available.
Like John says, though, if some of the guys they do want are just dropping like flies, they might want to make a move up to see if they can get that last one. I could see that happening. Because they do have targets. That's why Lynch and Shanahan who they are and bringing in the talents that they have. They don't let anybody get away if they can.
I hear you, but I think we're pretty much solid in our team right now.
Oh,
and we've filled in a lot of positions with free agency.
Right.
I think we're just going to be putting in depth players, best available player.
Well,
the only reason I would trade up.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason I would trade up Ronbo is to get that running back, Bijan Robinson or something, to get somebody that can run like Mostert. They got to have somebody that.
Mostert. God, that'd be awesome. But we're going to run out of time.
Hey,
go ahead, make that point.
Are great. Thanks for having me on.
Always a pleasure.
I'll try to call in again.
I'll get to you as soon as possible too. You know that. All right, Brian.
Yeah, no worries. You know how to get to me, and from there we'll go from there. All right. Hey, thanks again, Ronbo.
Shout out to that awesome family of yours, too. All right, fam. Night.
Thank you. Go Niners.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Ronbo. How's your night going, buddy?
That's going fine. Just a little while before we get into the big day.
It's rough. I know one more day left, everybody. Then Thursday comes. We'll see what happens. That's when fun time starts, 8 o'clock. I'll be sitting in front of the TV like a coach, just sitting in front there with my pad and do a little zip.
And being envious of people that are picking up first-round picks or laughing at people because I can't wait to see who picks that first quarterback and who's it going to be. Is it really going to be Bryce? We'll see. Or is it going to be the other guy that is raw? The blood is still running from that meat raw. What's the guy that... That's got all the athleticism. No, this guy's got all the athleticism in the world. He's played. That's him.
Yeah, don't be surprised. Sometimes you get some weird quarterbacks. You think this guy's gonna get drafted first pick, and it's somebody else. That happened a couple years ago. You think this guy's getting drafted, and it's somebody else.
Well, the Panthers like.
Panthers like them. I wonder if Houston. Well, Houston, they can pick up a defense and maybe pick up a quarterback, and later on. Their second pick. I think that's what they should do.
Yeah, Houston does like Davis Mills, if people don't know. From what I read.
Mm-hmm.
But then they got to say that.
Yes.
There's no point. If you're Houston, though, you go ahead and get another quarterback just so they can compete anyway. You might as well.
Yeah, no, you get another quarterback, but you might deal with the second pick, maybe pick something else so you can win. Maybe, pick a defense or pick, whoever. Then pick a quarterback in your next pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or maybe move that pick down and, maybe play around, Maybe the Houston could do something.
Or trade back in the first round and get that quarterback if he's still there.
Yep.
They got all kind of options like we did. When you got a lot of picks, now you can move around.
You never know, Maybe Houston might move down maybe a pick or two and get their man.
They may as well because they need players, and their management changed a little bit. Maybe they got a better eye for talents and things like that because they got to fortify that roster now and build it same model. And you got D'Amico over there; he'll show them how to go about building a team for the future. So
now, who's the big show say about quarterback? Which quarterback does he like? The Stanford quarterback?
Fresno State.
Because I know my friend likes the Stanford quarterback. Oh, Fresno State.
Oh, he did mention him. You're right. He did mention the Stanford quarterback as well.
Yeah, because I know my friend who went to Stanford says the Stanford quarterback is good.
Okay.
I would say, how about the UCLA guy? They're going to leave the poor guy. I mean,
it's Tanner McKee. That's the guy.
Yeah.
Tanner
Stanford. McKee. Now imagine taking Tanner McKee and one of his weapons, or you can get the UCLA quarterback and get his receiver.
Will we be able to chance to get both the receiver and? I mean, usually those are a year apart, separated.
Third round you could, if you're lucky the third round, but by then you don't know.
Yeah,
you might get one of them.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like I said, I just want a quarterback that might be a Purdy that played a lot in college, who has a good IQ, and you know what I mean. not somebody like. I mean, I feel bad for Trey. I hate to see if this guy does go and he does get traded. If he does, I wish him luck. I wish all my people that leave the team good luck.
Yeah, no, you
know?
should, because usually these players that
I
left
mean,
the team are helping us, or have helped us. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I hate to see Trey go. I'd like to get another shot.
Well, he hasn't
Darnold,
left
I
yet.
don't think. Yeah, I bet you 10-1. Darnold's not going to last. I bet you preseason because you're so loud they're going to cut him. You watch like they did with the other guy. They paid, remember last year they got for $2 million and they cut him after preseason and they kept Purdy.
You know, Mike, you got to remember. Keep in mind, Darnold's had how many coaches in the length of time he's been in the pros? He's played. He was hurt. It's hard to. It's hard to actually gauge how good or bad he really is by those things. Like
He'll be different. Problem. He'll be different in Sudfield. I think he'll be different. I mean, maybe this guy you could work with maybe get his back up so he could be a superstar.
Yeah. You need to watch those few games he played last year. That was a good Darnold. I mean, really good.
Oh yeah, I was watching the 4 games. He looked like a Darnold that should be the first round pick. Yeah.
So we'll see on him.
I mean, I wish him luck too. I mean, I do wish him luck. I hope Darnold and all our quarterbacks do good. I mean, I hate to see anybody do that. You know what I mean? I think everybody should. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because
I think
that's an important position. They need to do well. Don't come in.
Yes.
Josh Johnson in this, Josh, I'll never forget that as long as I live.
My nephew can play better than Josh Johnson. He can throw a ball better than Josh Johnson. He's only 6.
It's the championship game, Josh. Where are your balls? Get out there and compete.
He might be, yeah.
Oh.
He's worse than a high school quarterback. He makes a high school quarterback look normal.
And you can't show fear as a quarterback. Or that's your wrong position.
No, I think he wasn't. Yeah. You could tell that was a big mistake picking him up.
He's a practice squad guy, and the 49ers were hoping they never have to use him. They knew that.
Yeah,
they knew what we saw.
Somebody better than practice. There's other guys out there we could have picked up. We could have took somebody else instead of him. Well, there's a lot of guys that'd be hungry to play. How about the guy that? Roethlisberger, yeah. How about the other guy that went to the same college as Trey? The other guy, he used to be with the Colts. That they're not. He was with the Colts. He's the same college as Trey. They both came. Remember, he was. I think went to the backup.
No. I'm trying to think of his name. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. He's had a hard life though since he left the Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's.
I know what you're talking about. The other quarterback. Yeah. Nick Foles.
No, not Nick Foles. The quarterback you're talking about. He was drafted by the Eagles out of Dakota.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know why I can't say it. Anyway, Carson. Yeah, Carson's had a hard life since he left Philadelphia, and that last year.
No, I do. I feel bad for him too.
Yeah.
I mean, if we could go to a good team like ours, and maybe get his thing back up like another team like ours, and build it up, maybe I could see it.
Yeah, maybe.
That's one thing about some of these quarterbacks. They go on so many teams and they don't have good offensive line, and they get beat up so much. And I've seen that. It's like, damn, these guys are good, and then they get bombed. But
Yeah, a quarterback gets hit hard a lot, and he usually doesn't see it coming.
Trust me, I've been banged up a lot.
That's why I always have sympathies for quarterbacks, and people start dogging them and say, you need to get hit by a guy that weighs about 265 and runs about a 4.7 to know that if that quarterback gets up, you're lucky.
I'd like to know from all the 49ers empire, who do you think the 49ers first pick in the 3rd round will be?
Yeah.
And whoever gets it right should win. No, everybody should put their answer down and see if they get it right. Who do you think is going to be your first pick?
It could be an offensive lineman, Michael. It might be an offensive lineman.
It might be. Everybody should put their names down and see who gets it right. You never know. Offensive line, corner, safety.
We're not in a whole lot of trouble as far as a corner, but the safety could use some. We actually have probably too many corners.
Right tackle.
You need a left tackle.
Right tackle. Left tackle. Okay, to take care of Williams when he retires. Yeah.
Yeah, and he can play right tackle in the meantime.
You want somebody behind him.
Yeah.
You need somebody behind him, You always want somebody to, like, even tight end. I mean, that backup tight end for Kittle, bet you know what his future is going to be. WWE. I can see it. He could be wrestling.
Maybe
I
sooner
think.
than later.
No,
George loves it.
He could be wrestling. He could be wrestling. You never know. There's a lot of former football players joining WWE.
There's no doubt about it. George is on his way to WWE. The same day he retires, he'll be
go after the title. Yeah, go instead of going after the Super Bowl title, he can go after the WWE title.
Well, he needs both. I hope he gets half.
He needs both. Yeah, I hope he gets that. I'd like to see him get a title before he retires.
Exactly.
Or before he leaves.
Well, he's going to be around.
I want to see number 6.
Yeah, he'll be around.
I want to see Super Bowl number 6. I've seen Super Bowl 5. I've seen 5 Super Bowls the Niners won. I have my VHS. I want to see number 6.
You might see it soon. Well, Michael, we're going to go. I'll be looking for you on draft night. And
draft night, baby. Yep. All 49ers fans will be tuning in on ESPN, baby.
All right. Should be fun. All right, Bill.
You have a good night. Good night, 49er Pirates. Good luck Thursday.
Night, Michael. Oh, there he is. It's time. It's past time for some Latino heat. Latino heat. Latino heat. It's Emilio Mamacita. Emilio.
Yeah.
Emilio's at work. I wonder if he can get to us.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
All right. I need more volume, Emilio. I can barely hear you, though.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Barely. It's really low.
Damn, I don't know why.
Okay. It's probably location. You're probably getting an interrupted signal. Emilio, go ahead. I'll listen. We'll listen.
No. Yeah, I ain't got too much to say. I'm just trying to see what's going on. People see if anything. Get news. See if people ain't sideways. Just trying to see what's still in the vibe. You know, getting ready for the draft. You know me, once NBA playoffs come, I'm more tuned into that.
Hey, the Warriors play tonight or tomorrow night?
They play tomorrow.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's
play tomorrow.
You know,
I'll be at home.
That comeback. That was impressive. I thought they were dead meat.
Nah, they're the worst. They always do that. They always do that.
They always do that, don't they?
Different. They always do it.
You got to get your boy Draymond. But you got to get your boy Draymond. Draymond has bad judgment. I realize he's the heart and soul of that team. But Draymond, you ain't got to step in the man's chest. They still won the game, but I said, come on, man.
That looks above way. You got to look at the
The dude grabbed his leg. I saw it.
They both should have got suspended. For him doing it was Draymond doing it. I'm not going to be biased about it. Yeah. They both should have got suspended. That was impossible. Because it reminded me of that one year when they with LeBron. LeBron grabbed his leg and kicked him in the nuts. Same situation. They suspended one guy, not the other. So
you got to go.
It's always the second guy.
Right? Because he's the one they seen clearly. And the ref was blowing the whistle. If you're still fighting when the whistle blows, and that goes at every level, high school, everything else, you're going to get ejected. Another dude who started it is going to be able to stay on the field. Boy.
That's all right. The ones who win in six. They win tomorrow, and then win again on the
Well, as long as you got Wiggin looking like he's looking, yeah, they'll be tough to beat. Because Wiggin he's heating up.
I'm just like I said, ready for the draft.
Look out for the Lakers, though.
I'm not worried about the Lakers. I'm overrated. We beat LeBron before. It ain't nothing new. We beat him again.
But anyway, you know what? The thing is, everybody, there's a big percentage of us that think that Trey will be traded on draft night. Others
I don't. It's possible. I just don't see it. I know the rumors are out there. Things have been seen to happen. I just don't see it. We all have to be with our short-term memory we have. We did lose 5 quarterbacks last year. I don't see why you want to go through that again.
Whoa, I know.
To me, Donald, whatever his name, he's not the answer.
Yeah.
Any of you guys out of you that think he's the answer, I honestly don't see why. Dude is just crap.
Well, Kyle loves him. That's the thing.
Kyle likes anybody. Kyle like Hoyer, and he was crap. So,
and CJ, remember, we traded up to get him.
Yeah, so wish CJ was more, somewhat there, but no. For Shanahan, he thinks he can win with any quarterback.
See, that's what we have to work. Emilio, that's it right there. That's what we all have to understand. Kyle doesn't care about the All-Star Hall of Fame quarterback.
I've seen that already.
Yes. He just wants somebody that gets his job done.
Hall of Fame quarterback.
Do as I tell you to do. That's what I want you to do.
Yeah. He had his Hall of Fame quarterback. And they didn't win the Super Bowl, so what's the difference? He had Matt Ryan couldn't win the Super Bowl.
So, it's...
Try to get to me, you got to look at, let's say Purdy's not ready, we really start the season with Sam Darnold. It would be dumb. It's just I'd rather stick with Trey. This is my idea, stick with Trey. Wait till Purdy's ready, because at this point, they already made an official basically Purdy's the starting quarterback. Until to see if Purdy's healthy. It's been out there that they don't know. My thing is, if Purdy's not ready, let's say if Brock Purdy starts on the pub or injury list or whatever for the first couple weeks, let Trey play. And whatever Trey does, you can either sit him down and let Purdy take over. After he's ready, I don't think Purdy's going to be ready. Week one. I just don't. I mean, it is possible. Anything can happen. We don't know. To me, just don't. I'd rather start the season with Trey than with them. That's just my personal opinion.
Purdy's going to be trying, though.
I'm still can't. That's so line. And with Doug, the way he's played, he's goes. So no matter what coach you give him, he's going to come like straight dog shit.
One thing, about that quarterback in Fresno? If and it was brought up earlier, I think Kyle does like him. Now that I read about it a few weeks ago, you know what? If they do draft a quarterback, what does that mean to you? What do you think they're thinking?
I think we're gonna need it. We need to draft a quarterback just because of the situation last year. We need to. That's not a given. We went through 5 quarterbacks.
Yeah, we have 4 quarterbacks in a year, don't we?
I won't be surprised if we do draft another quarterback. I just won't. It's just one situation. You need 3 quarterbacks starting week 1. Even if Purdy's not going to be starting, you need 3 quarterbacks starting week 1. If it's Trey, Donald, or one of the undrafted, you need 3 quarterbacks. Just because we went through it. It needs to happen. Shanahan needs 3 quarterbacks on the roster.
Well, we're going to find out soon. This weekend, in fact. It depends on who it is. That's what I'm looking at. If they grab him as soon as they can, something is up. If they wait till 6th round or something like that, ain't nothing up. It's just about having him out there.
Like I said, it doesn't even matter. I mean, like I said, it just, if you do draft one, that means Trey Brown or whatever situation do. But to me, it's
about competing.
All 3 quarterbacks, the 2 best rated quarterbacks we have is Trey and Purdy.
Yeah.
For the system.
All right.
You get a rookie. We don't know if we're going to have it. I mean, we don't know if we're going to have another Brock Purdy if we draft a rookie. You never know.
You never know. Emilio, we got to go, though.
All right.
All right. Emilio, always a pleasure, fam.
Just check in.
I'm glad you did. Haven't heard from you too long. Yeah.
I told you, busy basketball.
Well, I knew you was NBA, and I knew it.
Like I said, I've been paying attention to I've been listening to podcasts. I tune in here and there a little bit.
Oh, good.
I had a conversation. Pretty good.
All right, Emilio. Night, fam. Here's Emilio, hard working, but he still calls in. I love it. Hey, Tony.
Ronbo.
Tony's become my Tony and I have become a duo on Twitter as we tag team on Rudy's ass. Tony, I'm loving it, man.
He's hopeless. It reminds me of Ronbo. What was that guy's name on Sesame Street? The one that lived in the trash can.
He always popped up. Oh, what is this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it, I can't think of his name right now. He's got a goofy name, too. The same, right?
His name's Grover.
Grover. That's it, Rudy. Oh, perfect analogy. That's Rudy. Pops up. It has nothing whatsoever to offer. Did you see he got mad today? He's just doing random bull. I mean, God, Rudy, show some shame.
He puts his foot in it every time he opens his mouth.
God.
I just picture him in that trash can with a ram sticker on the front of it. You know what I mean?
You know, God, empty stadiums and everything. And they set a league record for empty stadiums, and we're supposed to be bandwagoners. That's all they got in LA is bandwagoners. Oh, you won't see one throwback jersey in those stands. God.
I think Ronbo, when reality is reality, you know what I mean? You can live in a fantasy world, but the thing that gets up their goat is, you know, they go to watch the Rams, and instead of seeing blue and yellow, all they see is red. You know, they just can't handle it.
And after a team has been beating you to death for years, unfortunately, they slid by finally, and they got to it. Now we got a chest pound? My God, that's comical. But get good on them. Okay, they got where they was trying to get, and now they will slide back into the mediocrity, a parking place that has been reserved for them indefinitely, and it always has been.
It's the same as one of these NRL teams that play. My team's called the St. George, and every time we play the Cronulla Sharks, every time the Sharks come to our stadium, they leave 20 minutes before the game's over.
Now that's domination. Are they leaving out? Are they leaving out of fear, or because they got their ass handed to them?
They leave out of fear. And when you go to their stadium, because they're in a big bunch in a group, they yell obscenities at your woman and this and that. And they even had one of their front office dudes cut a jersey off a supporter, a St. George supporter, in the bar with a pair of scissors. Right?
Oh, God.
And the next game, our boys called him out in the middle of the field, presented the kid with a brand new signed jersey from our team.
Good. Tony.
You know, that's what the Rams are like. You know, they'll come to Levi's and then they're losing. You know, got a 40 or 30 or 40 burger slapped on them.
I mean,
they'll
Tony,
leave 20 minutes before the end of the game.
Because you know, traffic. They got to beat out all the 49er fans getting into the cars. Tony, it's like the thing is, when anytime the starting quarterback's wife is pleading with fans to please don't sell your tickets to 49ers, okay, what does that tell you? That tells you so many things. All right? That's what I'm trying to say. Man, don't. You guys came in 13th in the 10. Well, hell, the only reason you came in number 12 is because the 49ers, the Raiders, and God knows what other teams, fan bases, have came in there and filled up all those empty seats that are watching the Rams games. And he thinks, well, we're more popular team. Rudy, understand one thing. The number one state team in the NFL, Golden State, it's San Francisco. I'm done arguing with him anyway. God.
Don't worry about Rudy.
Anyway, we're looking at the draft, and John Lynch just came out. You know how Lynch is. He comes out and says things that he got a little carried away with Trey Lance this time after people ask him over and over about what they're going to do with him, and he said too much. And then when they asked him about Aiyuk, listen, we're expecting Brandon Aiyuk to be with us for now and in the future, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Hey, John, remain consistent.
Mate.
What are you doing? Now we know what you're doing.
Look, John said what he always says every year. Even when they asked him about Lamar Jackson, he said, if we're not looking, that means we're not doing our job. And that's how he covers it up. All right?
Yeah.
So, but if they were to trade Brandon Aiyuk, well, then I would have him and Kyle Shanahan subjected for bloody brain analysis, mate, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because could you imagine Brandon Aiyuk on the Chiefs, Ronbo, with Andy Reid?
Oh man, you know
if he's not running, he's not making, you know, like 1,500 yards every season, I'll cut my head off.
You know, that is Andy Reid would make him into a machine because he's got a couple of guys over there that are pretty good, but none of them have the route running ability. There's not a lot of wide receivers that have Brandon Aiyuk's skill, and that's why he's going to get a big
tough.
offer. Yeah, he doesn't get hurt.
He's tough. You know what I mean? You've seen that when he hits, like he blocks, or he doesn't block, he hits him.
And when he blocks, he gets in their chest and sticks like glue. Do you see him driving, guys? I mean, he is good.
Yeah, you remember that guy that he smashed on the goal line when Deebo Samuels was running in that TD on that highlight reel?
Over that dude. I tell you.
He just hit him. The guy landed on his ass.
This is why
you can't get rid of a player like that.
Here's a question: if you're not going to keep Deebo and Aiyuk, which one are you going to keep?
I'm keeping both of them because they're both. To me, they're both.
I agree.
Relevant to the team, and they're different players. You can't put Deebo up against Aiyuk because they're used for totally different things.
But they both carry wide receiver cards. That's the thing.
Yeah. And Deebo's Yak, with George Kittle, Mr. Yak Masters.
Oh, I love it.
You give him the ball. He's a battering ram, mate. You can't get rid of people like that.
You cannot. I love that kind of football. A lot of people, you don't need him to run. I don't need him to run deep down the field. I just need him to get the ball in his hands as quick as possible. Bill, everybody wants to see that ball flying deep downfield. Well, yeah. But, give me a guy that can track that ball, and I can throw that ball to a spot, not right at him, trying to pinpoint him like a smart missile. I want to put that ball in the left side, and I want to see that receiver drift right on over there and pick that off. That's what a deep wide receiver, that's what a wide threat does. So, we're out of time again because we're having too much fun talking about Rudy and idiotic fans. I'll see you draft day. All right.
All right, brother. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Jalen and the rest of the Empire. And see you in the next chapter.
Looking forward to it. Tony, cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Tony's so cool. Hey, Edmund.
What's up, Ronbo?
Edmund, we're just sitting back here and enjoying. I've heard you in a while. Edmund, I know you got a lot of things to say about this draft, huh? Edmund, there is the 49ers do this. I think they've taken classes how to keep your fans engaged by being elusive, saying things that make you think, and saying things that are out and out lies, but you convince people they're true. Edmund, what do you think about what's going on with John Lynch in that Monday presser?
I think the same thing I always think. When it comes to the offseason, 99% of what I hear is BS. And the only 1% that's true comes from Lynch and Shanahan. And they haven't really changed much, Rumble. I mean, he said, they don't listen to offers on any player not named Bosa. But, Rumble, how is that different than any of us in our walk of life? I mean, if I'm working a job, am I listening to other offers? Yeah. But guess what? If it ain't better than what I got, guess what? I'm not going nowhere.
Yeah.
So
true.
It doesn't mean anything. Yeah. I'm gonna listen to an offer on Trent Williams. But unless you're offering me the second best offensive lineman and 3 first-round picks,
And
Williams ain't going nowhere.
What are the odds of that happening? I hear you. Because there is nobody in the NFL like that.
Right. So, when it comes to these things, like, people talking about Brandon Aiyuk has a chance to be. Man, Brandon Aiyuk ain't going nowhere. First of all,
I don't think so.
It's not even a question he's the best wide receiver on our team. Okay, so let's Deebo is great with the ball in his hand, but let's admit that last year was a down year for Deebo.
Yep.
It was. I mean, it was almost like from the year before when they used him so much, it took a lot out of him or something. He wasn't quite at that level again. Quarterback change, all that stuff. I mean, maybe that had something to do with it, but at the same time, Brandon Aiyuk, Yeah, he was listening to offers from McDonald's, Hardee's, and Steak and Shake.
Debo was getting beefy, real beefy there for a minute. I mean, it was all swole up when he came into camp to start with. I said, look at Debo. He was walking next to Javon Kinlaw, and I didn't know. I said, Debo's wider than Kinlaw. And you can see Debo's shorter, but look at the shoulders, look at the mass. D,
right.
How you gonna do, man? You got to lose some of that weight. All that ain't muscle.
Hey, but that's why that might be one reason that they look at a wide receiver. And I'm not saying Debo's going anywhere, and I'm not saying that he's not a great player in this league.
No,
but I am saying that he's been in the league 4 years. He's been hurt 2 of them. So let's, we have to keep it in perspective too. That when it comes to the 49ers, we all know that the reason our team is so great is the depth, right?
Absolutely.
The 49ers are like the anti-Clippers. The Clippers have great depth, but their best players stay hurt.
Yeah.
So you never get a chance to see the full team like, man, this is great. We could compete for championships. The 49ers are the opposite of that. They stay healthy enough, but then when they get to the postseason, some kind of injuries seem to derail them
going to
time.
happen. Inevitably is going to happen. It's just, you can count on it. You can, if Vegas is running a line, go for it. You'll win. I understand it's your team, but if you want to make money, bet on the 49ers coming into the playoffs, staggering with 1 important or 2 important players that are hurt. Damn it. Every year.
Exactly.
Oh.
And it's frustrating. I don't know, Ronbo. You said it like maybe 4 or 5 calls ago that this team probably has a couple more years, and then at some point we're going to have to rebuild. And when that comes, I'm probably not going to be on social media because it's going to be absolutely awful being a 49ers fan in 2025.
Oh, yes, people can't wait.
Especially if we haven't won a Super Bowl.
Yes. No, even if we win the Super Bowl, yeah, y'all, what y'all doing? What you gonna do now? We ain't gotta do nothing. We got 6 trophies. That's more than anybody in the NFL, not named the New England Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers. We are the elite. What you got? You know what? This is what I like, Edwin.
Right.
We can always fall back and say, what do? You got the Rams, they got 2 trophies, one they just recently got. You got the Raiders, they got 3. But the rest of the league is just trash when it comes to Super Bowl trophies. You got Cowboys, Steelers, and, of course, the Patriots. And then there's the 49ers. Everybody else is behind us.
Right. And let me say this, too. On Trey Lance, I know that a lot of us are looking at it and saying, hey, after 2023, probably won't be here. There's, people asking, trade offers, all this stuff. But, I usually think in the same line of what they say, right? I'm not saying Trey Lance ain't going to be traded, but I don't see it. And the reason I don't see it is because you have to look at the track record with this organization to understand what they're going to do, even when it comes to Trey Lance. Like, look at Jimmy Garoppolo, right?
Mm-hmm.
As many times as he was hurt, you could sit there and say, well, he had a lot of money against the cap. They couldn't cut him, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They kept him all that time, right? Mm-hmm. What about Solomon Thomas? He was trashed the entire time. They kept him.
Yeah.
They never moved him. They could have. He was on a rookie deal, right? They could have moved him. They could have gotten a 4th, 5th round pick. They never did. Javon Kinlaw, hurt all the time. What they do? They kept him.
Edmund's drawing that picture of it's painful. It's true.
So I don't think he's going, especially at the most important position. The one thing about Trey that he has in his favor, believe it or not, is that even if he doesn't win the job in camp, he's probably going to play this year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that's probably a safe bet.
That's what we do.
So why would I get rid of him?
Yeah, that's what I said.
I mean,
that's my position as well. I agree.
And if who knows, if it clicks for him, nobody's going to be talking about Brock Purdy, right? All right. To me, Brock, I like how he played, but let's be real here. 9 games, 13 touchdown passes. Let's stop acting like this dude is Mahomes, okay? He played well. I'm not saying he didn't. But for us to sit here and say, well, that's our guy and he's a franchise quarterback and I don't see that myself. I see a guy who played well in the stint that he was in there. But I also see a guy who, like Jimmy, our court. I just said his name and now I can't think of it for some reason.
Brock,
Trey,
Jimmy.
Trey, yeah, like
Trey.
Trey,
Yeah.
like Jimmy, like Trey. Injuries really held up their progress, right?
Oh,
if Jimmy stays healthy in 2020, right, 2022, right, we might have been looking at a better version of him, but the injuries just kept hurting him. Trey, same thing. Now Brock is in that position too because no off season. He's healing. He doesn't have an off season.
Yes,
right. So he's going to go into next year. It's how much can he improve when he can't throw?
Papa Dragon mentioned that the other day. That's a frightening thought. I just didn't put that together in my head. I just thought about, okay, well, how soon can he get back and start working?
Right.
I never thought about he may not get a chance to get back and start working. Anyway.
So I just think we got to temper the expectations on him. And if he plays and he plays well, great. I don't care who it is. There was a poll the other day on Twitter. Who do you want to be the 49ers franchise coach? I said, I don't care as long as we get 6. I don't care who the guy is. I just don't.
I think I've seen that post. What is your Twitter name, Edmund?
Mine? It's Edmund Dantes 251.
Oh, you're Edmund Dantes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. Okay. So I know who I'm talking to.
Yeah.
When I see you. I think I've addressed a couple of your posts before.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You have.
Yeah. All right, Edmund. Tell you what I'm doing. Let's get together. Friday be back for after the draft, first night, second night too. Look for you then.
Sounds good, man.
All right, fam.
I will be here.
Looking forward to it. Night, Edmund.
All right. You too. Peace.
Peace. Yeah, I remember that name. And speaking of people who said he's not getting any time to work, we need to think about that. He is the Dragon Master himself, the leader of the pack. It is Papa Dragon Bob.
Woo! This is what the fuss is all about. Hurry up, Ronbo. These gators are biting. Woo!
You need some Bayou cream. And then babies start biting, just rub a little Bayou cream on you and they'll smell you and they'll run off.
A lot of great phone calls tonight. Shout out to the last caller. Who was that?
Edmund.
That's all I'm saying. Edmund, good call. Right on the money. We can all agree on this. If I make a criticism on somebody, the first thing people want to do is fight and hate about it. Maybe they think it's fun. But doesn't mean it's not the truth. And it doesn't mean that I don't want whoever's at quarterback to succeed.
Because you're a 49er fan after all. And losing is not an option. You know?
After all. And right now, the reality is, like I said, as I explained again, and again, I had another great day of rehab, physical rehab, another great football conversations. And again, the only quarterback that people are interested in, at least in Nashville, from the 49ers, is Kyle Shanahan. He's the only one. And he don't even take the field. So Shanahan has got himself a real good thing going on. That's going to last for a long time. I know it's going to frustrate some people, but that is just the way it goes.
Yeah.
The way that it goes. Number 2, Trey Lance. Who do you think taught Brock Purdy the playbook?
Brock
Trey Lance.
That Trey taught him. He learned a lot from Trey.
Who knows the offense just as good as Shanahan? It's Trey Lance. Who came to him when he was hurt and asked Shanahan, hey, coach, What can I do to help? I just want to be involved. Okay, well, Trey, you can break down these coverages and these protections and make sure that everybody knows them.
And which is good for Trey too, by the way.
Yeah, that was Trey. So Trey is a young man. He's a bright man. He's got a bright future. I don't feel sorry for him at all. I just don't. And it's the reason I don't feel sorry for him is because he's a millionaire. He hasn't had an opportunity to show what he can do yet, and he's still young, and he'll get there. And I hope that he gets there with this team and the reason why. Let me explain upside to people and potential. Trey Lance can do things on the football field that only 2 or 3 football players can do in the league. With his arm and with his legs. The ability to run against the grain, throw the ball on the rope, not 30 yards, Ronbo, not 40 yards, but he can throw the ball on the rope 60 yards on a rope. So that's his immense talent. And he's got the heads to go with the talent. He's just got to put it all together. And that's very difficult in his position because he hasn't played. Very difficult. Like I said, when I saw him in college, he didn't look the same in the pros. You know, the speed of the game, he hadn't caught up to that. He looked rusty. He looked tentative. He looked like Alex Smith too when he played. Brock Purdy, all of Trey's weaknesses are Brock Purdy's strength, except Brock Purdy is also smart. So, yeah, he's not going to be traded. Now, if people think that John Lynch is like some super GM, he's no Ozzie Newsome. He ain't that. Make no mistake about it.
Do this a few years ago. If it wasn't for Adam Peters being sent over by his good buddy John Elway, I'm not sure where we'd be.
Right. The real brains behind the operations is Peters. The final say is Shanahan, and I think Lynch is more like a Carmen policy. He'll get up in front of the reporters.
Yeah.
Scratch his chin.
He's a spokesperson.
And say some things. You know what I'm saying? But where his failings are is when you're trying to sell a used car, you don't say what's wrong with the car.
Yeah.
You don't say it's a nice car.
Or else
it's a great car, but the car's got to stay healthy.
Yeah.
That's not building value. And you don't build value when you don't develop at the quarterback position. They develop everywhere else except for the quarterback position. That's why they don't develop.
And Pop, they make it known to everybody. Kyle Shanahan's telling you about he can make any quarterback work. Kyle, don't tell me this.
In my opinion, they talk too much. We should not know that they're designed around the rookie quarterback contract. So that does make Trey expendable. It makes Brock Purdy expendable. Okay. And if people think that you're going to take a quarterback on his third team and all of a sudden he's going to just be a success, again, that is also wishful thinking. Okay. But on to the draft. I put together my draft board.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention about just to back up a little bit, that you mentioned a quarterback being the least, looking like almost the least important person in the 49ers offensive machine. The 49ers believe if they can save money by not paying those $60, $70 million contracts that are coming up in the near future annually, they feel like they're going to be able to head in the game. If it works, there's a lot of teams that seem to follow the 49ers lead. Can you imagine? We'll see.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes and no. I think the best way is how they handle Jalen Hurd. But our young quarterbacks have to understand that when you come into the league, you got to play the game. And part of playing the game is being that CEO in appearance as well as in your play and in your leadership qualities. That's super important. If you come in looking like a rock star or a reggae star and you're known more
like what's his name that just went to the Jets? God, Aaron Rodgers. He's been pimping the league for about 4 years for sure.
But Aaron Rodgers is a guy that he follows whatever his process is. And that process is, okay, my age is going to do the negotiating. But Aaron doesn't understand that Tom Brady's greatest quality, his greatest ability was to take less.
Yes.
Tom has never been the number one paid. He's always taken less to have players around him. I think Trey is that
Brady's
smart.
good, though. and that's what they want.
No, he's good. Brady is good, but the best part of him that got him all those. Remember, the Patriots have scored 4 championships by a total of 12 points.
Mm-hmm.
So you could easily say that's Adam Vinatieri's team because he won those games at the very end. Him and Belichick. To be honest with you, Brady didn't mess it up, But the point I'm trying to make is that people have to find what their balance is, and they have to get there. And I think the 49ers just haven't found what that balance is, and more importantly, how to protect that balance. If you're on your third quarterback, you might want to be a little bit more conservative with how you call your games. You might not want to take risky play calls that could get your player injured. I'm not saying he intentionally got them injured. No, he doesn't. But the issue with Shanahan, when you have someone who's very smart and someone who won't listen to other people because he thinks he's smarter than everybody else, he doesn't learn from his mistakes. Instead, he says, well, he should have got rid of the ball earlier. He should have stepped up. He should have protected himself, which is true. But at the same time, could you put him in a better position?
Under the bus? Yeah, not all.
I'm just saying, could you put him in a better position? Now, I believe that he's got 2 really good quarterbacks that he likes. Right? He's got Trey and he's got Brock, and I think. Unlike Garoppolo, who disappeared in the off. Remember, when Garoppolo got paid, he was gone. No one could get a hold of him. He would not return calls.
I told you where he was. Y'all didn't believe me.
Yeah. So
he's a Mac Daddy.
There is that dynamic. I don't think that Garoppolo at all likes Shanahan. I already know he doesn't.
For sure he doesn't.
Because I'm telling you right now,
any established quarterback's going to like Kyle. Let's see what Darnold does.
Maybe we'll see, but right now, he returns the Raiders' phone calls, but they can get a hold.
Wait, this is first year. Plus, he's been knowing McDaniels,
but he got a contract. He got a contract, so we'll see. So I think there's that thing where the Shanahans, neither one of them are not the glass is half full kind of guy. Their glass kind of half empty. So they're going to highlight what you do wrong more than the stuff that you do right. Or they're not going to say attaboy. They're not going to say you can do it. They're not going to say, hey, do whatever you think is right. Change to this play if you think you need to change to this play kind of a thing. Hey, look, we're going to protect you on this play. We're going to double this guy here. So if that play's not there, throw it away. That's not Shanahan. Shanahan's like, okay, you're on the goal line. I'm calling a 7-step drop. Get rid of the ball to the right guy. You got to get hit Aiyuk. And it's like,
well, you see what he did.
Okay, that's what you want me to do, right? Okay, all right. But what about these guys trying to kill me?
Well, see, that's where Brock and Kyle had a little bit of a friction there. Remember, that touchdown the back in the end zone, we were all going, wow, Kyle came in. Yeah, but he had the easier shot right over here, Juwan Jennings. I said, Kyle, there you go. That's why you established quarterbacks like Jimmy, also, what's his name, Matt Ryan, that's why they don't like you. You don't let the quarterback think on his own. You tell him what he should have done, even if he scored. Oh.
Right, but that's the difference between Trey and Brock. See, Brock is going to take the busted play, evade, take the busted play, or he's going to ad-lib with the receiver. Trey, he'll ad-lib with the running game. Right, if it's going to be a option, Trey is more likely to keep the option than he is to give the ball off. Because now the ball's in my hand, I can control how the play goes, but he doesn't protect himself. So that's a very big difference between the 2 players.
And that's the thing. But you know what? The first quarterback that can be productive by bucking Kyle's plays every now and then, that's the one Kyle will finally leave alone. Just let him
Maybe, but you got to have that friction with your coach first as a quarterback, because he's the coach on the sideline. You're on the field.
Yes.
So you control what happens on the field. You have to make plays despite of the head coach.
That's why you're out there. That's why you're the quarterback.
Exactly.
We're going to get cut off here because we're having too much fun here.
So,
tell you what, I will see you on draft night after 2. Well, two draft days. Hope you guys have time.
One last thing. I have finally put together my draft board. I have a draft board here, and based on my draft board, after pick 18, the next probably 150 picks maybe are really, really close in evaluation. The 49ers should be excited about that. They should have a wonderful draft. And I expect to see a running back taken. I expect to see probably 2 or 3 defensive linemen taken. I don't expect a quarterback to be taken.
There you go. All right. They're all in the first round. All right, fam. Good stuff.
And the position is edge. The edge is 30 positions deep. So they'll get a couple edge guys.
And a couple even. All right. I thought about it. Actually, I thought you usually let me know if you want to do a draft. All right. Next year, I'm going to ask you first. All right.
Well, let me know. I got my draft board right here.
Because we're now out of time, and the draft's coming up. All right, Bob. Anyway, we'll see you this weekend. All right. Night, Bob.
All right, man.
My best.
All right. Shout out to United Nation. Shout out to production.
Thanks, Bob. Oh, and I just want to remind, by the way, Tony, I just saw you in the chat a little while ago. Listen, GB Voul, you probably see GBVOUL, you probably see him in the chat. He alerted me to something that you should use. The next time he comes after you talking about 28-3, remind him how you took him out of the first round of the playoffs recently. Yo, Ellis!
I'm Bizzle.
Ellis.
No.
Ellis, we're speculating tonight, 2 days before. John Lynch was on Monday saying the things John Lynch says. Or like, Big Show just called him the queen of the something. Because everybody else does the work and the queen speaks. But you know what? Ellis, did you get anything from that conference Monday? What do you think is going to happen from just what John Lynch gave you? Or did you listen to some of the things that he was saying tonight? John Lynch said things that are all kind of rational, normal ways to think. Of course we're listening and taking all phone calls for people if you make us an offer. But those offers have got to be damn good. So you mentioned Trent Williams is a great example. You're going to offer me whatever and 3 first-round picks? Sure, let's talk. That's never going to happen. So, interesting stuff. But what are you thinking?
Well, I take John's word for it. They're not going to do nothing with Trey. They're not going to do nothing with Brandon Aiyuk, because I think he would get nailed, with questions moving forward. Because nobody's going to give us what we want, or what we would be looking for even Trey. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or of course not Brandon Aiyuk. Like, guys aren't. We're not going to. I honestly don't feel like they would give up Brandon Aiyuk for a first round pick this year. Because it wouldn't be a high first round pick, it would be a late first round pick. And I mean, shit, we're just breaking even. We're getting what we got, and there's no real guarantees or any guys that's been in the system long enough that can come in and just go off quickly like that. And heck, we can't get the same production out of any of these guys out of the draft, for whatever compensation we get for Brandon Aiyuk. So that's off the table, and it's a crapshoot with that. So. But yeah, even with Trey, like, we're not going to take a third, fourth, or fifth round pick for somebody that we used 2 first round draft picks and a third round draft pick on.
I know.
It doesn't add up. And we're giving up. We gave up too much, and at this point he's worth way more than that, and no one's going to give us what he's worth or even close to what he's worth. So we're going to keep him.
Mm-hmm.
And also, that's pretty much
nobody actually knows what his capabilities are because they haven't been demonstrated fully yet. So I'm not giving you a first-round pick. I mean, I got to come in and see if I can make him work. And I'll give you that's why, like you say, the best anybody's going to offer for Trey would be a third or fourth-round pick. Why am I going to do anything else? Because I can already find a quarterback that I know nothing about, and for it, I don't have to pay this much. So, scouting reports will say one thing about a quarterback, but you need it demonstrated. You need to see it at least a couple of times to get a feel for what he may be capable of doing.
Yeah. Now, opportunity hasn't come yet, and so I mean, I think John was being transparent and being honest. He did a little bit of fidgeting, but he always does that. John always fidgets and grabs his watch and puts his hand behind his head, and he just, that's a really good question, and thank you for that. And
and don't forget, and I can tell you, when John does that, he's buying time to think.
yeah, that is one of his go-tos right there. That I can tell you for sure. But I didn't really get anything too crazy. I don't know, the best player available for us or best player available period. That's there's a difference between those two.
Yeah.
Because they're doing specific shopping. They're doing specified shopping.
The best offensive lineman. Yep.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so there's. I don't anticipate us going for any offensive weapons. Maybe one, and if we do, it would likely be one of the tight ends.
Receiver.
Maybe
don't forget wide receiver running back.
Third round.
Yeah, they're going to get a wide receiver running back.
Yeah.
I don't know what round, but they're definitely going to do it.
Yeah, of course that, but not in the third round.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
No, you're right. I agree.
Because what I don't see, I one or the other, a wide receiver or a tight end will be one of the third round picks.
Oh, wait.
But it's not going to be both.
Tight end. You're right. Because the word is they're working really diligently, to see if they can come up with exactly the right tight end. You're right. That is going to be one of the three. Unless they package him up and go to the second round to go get him. Because I don't know how serious they are about that. From what that article said, they're really intense about that tight end spot.
Yeah. And it would behoove us though to keep those third round picks because there's going to be a lot of quality players around at that time. Even though it's it's what 99, 101, 102. Is that correct?
Yeah, 99. We started 99. That's our first pick.
When have we been on the board for 3 picks in a row like that, pretty much consecutively, and actually picked on all of those? Like it hasn't happened really much, not that I can remember. Maybe it was a back-to-back one, but I think that would be a really good opportunity.
They're gone. If there's something 49ers want in the second round, those picks are gone. So, like you said, those are right next to each other. You can package those up and get to the second round if you want to, no doubt about it. It's too much.
You talking about all 3 or 2 of them?
3 of them. If you take 3 of those picks, every team, in the league, above, you don't have to wait till you can get like early in the second round too. If they see, and as John Lynch says, if a lot of the guys that we're going after are gone, we may have to make a move. They might do it. We'll see.
I don't think it's going to happen, honestly, because we got to think about that cap space that we're going to need to sign these guys, and first and second round picks are going to be a little more pricey. But when we get into that third and on, we'll be able to, we'll be able to retain those guys. It'll be a little bit easier. But like I'm saying, though, there's going to be a lot of great players at those picks in that area. So we got to really take advantage. I think for sure it's going to be an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman are going to be 2 of those 3 picks.
Probably.
I'm almost sure of that because those are going to be, I think, some. Yeah, and it would make sense to, and then maybe get a tight end, and then we move on forward, in the other rounds. And then we can go get, a wide receiver that's hanging around, a running back, and then get our. But I think it will go like safety, corner, and then as we go on, it'll be like we'll get a running back in the 5th, 6th round, and get wide receivers back then, and then we'll get some undrafted guys as well. I sent you some video of Austin Watkins. He's playing in the CFL. He's balling.
Yeah, I responded to that.
He's caught a couple of deep. Yeah. So he's over there playing. So I mean, I got faith in that kid. He's gonna come back in the league. He's gonna do something. But there's gonna be some later round picks and some undrafted free agents. I think we're gonna strike gold again as we have. So I'm actually looking forward to that almost as much as I am in the overall, rounds of the draft.
I tell you,
if I'm being honest.
Be fun. Well, else we're going to go and see you on draft night and the second draft night, not the third, though. That third night is really strange. They just start reading names and keep moving really quickly because they got so many names to get through. Yeah.
So we don't start until what, day 2?
Yeah. But day 1's, I got to watch day 1 now because I got to see what's going to happen.
To see who went where.
And that shocking deal that's going
Yeah.
to come through, it's always entertainment.
Yeah, definitely. For sure.
All right.
I appreciate it, fam. Thank
Hey.
you for the platform, man.
Hey, my
And
pleasure.
shout out to production.
Thank you, fam.
Y'all know
Shout
what
out
it
to
is,
that
man.
squad, too.
Hit that like,
Tell
subscribe.
them I said hi.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. I sure will, fam. Thank you.
All right.
And,
Night, Ellis.
to the next one. Peace.
All right. Yeah. I just wanted to defend the young Montana. That person you're seeing there now, that's not really him. Young Montana was a little crazy, but that one is all the way lunatic. Okay, that's not the beauty of the young Montana. So if you're hearing things or seeing things, probably not who you think it is. I don't know who it is, but he's here to troll. Yo, Trez!
Hold up, wait a minute, Ronbo, gonna put some red and gold up in it.
I'll pull out the cup right now and sprinkle it all around. Trez, always good to hear from you, man. Yes.
Yes, sir, Ronbo. My work schedule been so crazy, Ronbo. I went back to work, picked up, started working at Delta, man, and boy, they got me on the second shift, and Ronbo, boy, I tell you.
Wearing the man out.
My head spinning.
Oh, God. Well, I tell you what.
But look, Ronbo, let's get down to the business. Let's get down to the business. You know what baffles me about our fans, man? It's just like they so let's see, right now-ish. I'm gonna say right now-ish.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's my take right here, all right? Everybody got all this uncertainty about Trey Lance. And rightfully so. You know what I'm saying? The sample size has just been too small. You know what I'm saying? But they don't put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for getting this kid hurt. They don't lay that at his doorstep. Okay. So where is all this uncertainty coming from? But why the uncertainty is not the same for one Brock Purdy? The sample size is small. Ronbo, let me tell you something. And I mean this wholeheartedly. You could have played quarterback and got us to the championship game with the team we had.
I don't know about all that, but I mean,
Ronbo,
we do got weapons.
Ronbo, we got weapons. And like they say, quote unquote, every day on sports, son. Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers don't need that star quarterback. It's a plug and play with a quarterback.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It's been somewhat true.
They do say that.
It's been somewhat true. Right. It's been somewhat true. So, but my thing of it is that where's all the uncertainty with Brock Purdy? He played 8 games, and everybody's like on this Purdy bandwagon. Like, I don't get it. Listen to this right here, people. We gave up all this draft capital for one Trey Lance, and we're going to see this through. We're going to see it through. I don't want to hear nothing about no Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was a Cinderella story last year. That's all he was. He got us through the season and got us to where we needed to be. Nobody expected it. We were playing with house money, and guess what? We played it all the way to the end. Okay, so all this, I mean, you don't know what Brock Purdy gonna be after this injury. Don't nobody know. Hell, he don't know. So that's what I'm saying. Where's the uncertainty for Brock Purdy? Where's that at? Because I've seen plenty of players go out and get hurt and don't be the same player they once was. We don't know. He already had a not so strong arm. So what is his arm gonna look like coming back? You see what I'm saying, Ronbo? So people need to stop with the bashing Trey Lance and all that. We gave up too much draft capital to not see this process through with this kid. Point blank, period. And you lay that at the feet of one John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. They said that was their guy, and they believe in him, so see it through him.
He's going to get a shot. He's going to get a shot. As soon as the camp starts, the 49ers are hoping that he shows them something. Trez, I think that's the biggest thing. I think, like you said, the sample size is small. Had Trey got out there and won 2 out of 3 games or 3 out of 4, whatever, we wouldn't have this conversation. You know, he's got to get out there and put something on the resume. And that hasn't happened yet. So you see Brock comes in, and he flies through the last few games into the playoffs, and most likely was the Eagles were going to lose because the 49ers defense was going to make sure that no matter what. Well, you see, that's what you do. That's it on your resume. It's your job. Now, Trey would now have to go take it away from him.
But Ronbo, okay, I understand. Let's stop it right there. I understand what you're saying. But you telling me that the last two games that Brock Purdy played in the playoffs, the Cowboys and then the Eagles, he wasn't regressing. You didn't see no regression there. He wasn't doing what he wasn't lighting it up like he was lighting it up because he went against some better defensive teams. And I'm gonna tell you another thing. We all know when there's no tape on a person how that goes. It's not enough tape on a specific quarterback, and then he goes out and ball out. And that following year, we got enough tape on you now. They look at the bad tendencies and everything and how they're going to attack. So guess what? Now teams will know how to attack when Brock Purdy, if he's back there at quarterback at any point in time, he shows up.
True, but one thing I don't believe in is that for this reason, because Kyle Shanahan knows that. They're not going to do – one thing the 49ers do better than any team in the league is they love to surprise people. I don't see that being an issue. Trust me, I got to tell you, here's one thing that we have to give Brock Purdy. Most rookies would have looked like Josh Johnson, or not as bad, but something like that. And they ain't played no snaps. Just came in the last pick of the draft. I thought when Jimmy went down, first thing I did is start crying. I said, oh, man, we ain't got nobody left but Brock Purdy. Oh, man. He came in that day, and I said, okay, we got through this week. Let's see what it looks like next week. He did it again. I said, okay. He did it again a third week. I said, you know what? Maybe he'll be okay.
We were playing bomb. We were playing bomb.
But the point is, it's still an NFL team, no matter how bummish they are. If you can get through the day, if you can get through the day every Sunday, I gotta respect that.
And I get it. I'm respecting anybody under the sun for us. But I'm saying people need to stop. Like Brock Purdy is this Messiah. He's the next Joe Montana.
He still has some things to prove.
No, he's not. Yeah. No, he's not. He's not. 8 games is a small sample size too. This guy ain't did nothing. Come on. I got to see what Trey Lance had.
No, I'm curious about that as well.
3 first-round picks. Yeah. Let me remind everybody.
Well, Trust, that doesn't measure.
That's a king's ransom.
There's been a lot of players, though. Baker Mayfield's the number 1 pick. I think there's been a lot of quarterbacks that got a lot of capital to get them. You once you get on the field, though, now the draft picks don't mean nothing. You got to get out there and get something done. Brock never had any real work.
Draft capital means something, Ronbo, because of what we could have had.
I agree.
To pick Trey Lance. Yeah. So we'd be major players right there in this year's draft because we'll have first-round picks. You see what I'm saying? So no, I'm just not. So my point is, Ronbo, I'm not sold either way. Okay, I want to see what Trey got, and
you all do.
I saw a small sample what Purdy had. Mm-hmm. I don't know what Purdy's gonna be like coming back from this injury. So that's all I'm saying. It's uncertainty all the way around.
And you got it right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's no way to know until we see further. And that's what I'm saying. Both of them are on trial in the days ahead. Trey has got to put something on the table. And Brock, he has to prove that he could actually do what he did last year with his arm being repaired.
Exactly.
Those two are both up against it, so they got to prove something. We'll find out.
Yes, sir. Well, look, Ron, I ain't gonna hold you. Shout out to Jack. Jack, I see you over there in the chat holding it down, man.
Jack is hilarious. He ain't never gonna change, boy. That boy's entertaining.
I like the hat, Ron, boy. I like the hat. My first
Brian Cope designed that for me. I got 2 of them. Thanks, fam.
Okay.
All right, Jess. Appreciate you, fam. Trey and I were talking about you last week, too.
Yeah, he told me. He told me. He said, "Listen," I said, "Man, bro, I'm trying to come up for air right now because John had my hand
I feel your pain, but I was hoping you listened as Trey came in talking about your favorite guy, Kirk Cousins, in a bright light. I said, "Oh God, Trez cannot be listening because he'd be all over you right now." Yeah, my partner,
Oh,
you
you
know,
know I
man.
would be. You know I would be, bro. Because look, when they said that, I was like, boy, I know good and well we ain't about to trade no Trey Lance or no Kirk Cousins. I said, boy, if you think I'd be on Kyle Shanahan, boy, I'm flying out there personally, going to his house.
Trez, don't miss the next time Trey gets in it. Hopefully, it don't work you to death. All right, fam. I'm looking for you
All
as soon
right,
as
bro.
possible. Then
Have a good one.
you too, man.
All right.
Not
Take care.
Trez. Yeah. Hey, Merrick.
Hey, Ronbo.
Merrick, here we are. Days ahead for more surprises in the NFL draft, of which Lynch and Shanahan have always come back with somebody we say, damn, who is this dude? Yeah. Every draft, there's at least one or two that we can't believe they didn't get in the first round. I'm looking, we got a lot of those now. Third, I mean, we got late round picks for days. They're not. I do not believe they're going to get 11 guys. So there's going to be a package somewhere. A 7 and a 5 and a 3 ought to get you somewhere. Damn, that could.
Yeah, I definitely think they're going to trade up in the draft.
Wow.
Like I've been saying, I think they're going to go in the mid to high second round because we don't have the money to pay a first rounder.
No. Second rounders could be expensive too, right? I don't know how much. Do you know the going price for second round picks? Because I didn't.
I don't know. I mean, you should look at Jalen Hurts's because he was a second round pick.
The
only downside of a second round pick is they only get a 4-year contract or a 3 or 4 year contract. There's no 5th-year option.
Wasn't Dante Pettis a second round pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.
You gave me terrible 2018 draft.
Yeah, those are good sources.
Yeah, the draft was bad.
Yeah, look at the guys that got drafted in the second. Okay, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. All right. But anyway, what do you think about? What are you expecting? In conjunction with what you heard from John Lynch on Monday.
Well, I do trust John Lynch, but it's at the same time it's hard to tell if he's just BSing or if he's actually telling the truth.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mac, there's a question right there. What do you think John lied about? Here's the thing. Edmund pointed out something tonight that I just hadn't thought about. He was so right. John Lynch is telling you nothing but the truth that you don't even need to be told. No, we'll listen to any deals that are going to help us improve this football team. So if you're going to want Deebo Samuel, I'm going to need something comparable. If you can offer that, we'll do that. The only person we're not going to even play that game with is Nick Bosa. Now, obviously, if you want anybody like Deebo, I need a first-round pick or two. I need this and this and this.
I don't even know if you could get a first-round pick for Deebo, though, because he's been injured lately.
But the thing is, when he's healthy,
he's got some weight problems, too.
But you can see Jenny Craig. He'll be okay.
He used to lay off the mac and cheese and the cheeseburgers.
Come on, mac and cheese is great stuff. Listen, Merrick, the point is, he's telling you.
Yeah, I can't even eat it, so.
Yeah, well, but anyway, he's telling you the same thing anybody would. If you can't give me equal value for this guy, this guy, and this guy, there's no point in you calling me. Anybody's going to do that. If you, Merrick, wherever you work or whatever you do now, if somebody offers you something to go to work for them or something else, or if you're going to a junior college and Harvard says we'll give you a free ride, what are you going to do? You take the best. Everybody's going to take the best move. There's nothing unusual by that. Next time John says that, somebody say, John, you're not telling us anything. It'd be awesome if the press said that. But anyway, your thoughts.
Yeah, well, I think, Ronbo, we're going to have to say goodbye to some quarterback after this year, unfortunately, whether it's Trey, Brock, Sam. Well, if Trey plays well, you don't need Brock anymore. Unless Trey gets hurt.
Brock could still be a backup.
And if Brock plays well, you don't really need Trey anymore.
Well, now, see, that's where the conflict arrives. You paid too much.
So you're going to have to say goodbye to someone. You can't keep both Brock and Trey if they're both playing well. That's going to cost too much money.
Yeah, but Donald's probably in trouble if Trey looks really good. That's going to be the competition. We're all going to be sitting back and watching. You know what? The excitement is about to get underway. What do we got, another 3 weeks or so? May. Yeah, those camp battles between Trey and Sam. People think Trey's just going to walk all over and win it because of his experience and everything, but my God, Kyle already has Darnold in his back pocket as being his favorite, but Trey's going to try to unseat. I look at Trey as being the underdog in this competition for that reason. Kyle likes Sam Darnold. He's always liked Sam Darnold.
And I wonder if Trey is going to be the same, because if you have multiple surgeries on your foot, it's going to be hard to run around the same.
And what did Kyle say? Trey's got to lean toward his strengths. Kyle thinks Trey's strengths are his running. I mean, I read that in an article just the other day.
Because we drafted him because he was a really good dual threat.
Very mobile, yeah. So, I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson, but he can get away. And Kyle liked that.
Yeah, so
to the point he kept running the wrong play.
I don't know if Trey Lance is going to be the same if you take away his running.
I know. Think about that.
Because he's got to lean more on his arm.
But if you got hurt like that, would you be in a hurry to go back out there and run? That's what worries me. Psychologically, you could be scarred. I'm not. Kyle's. All right, Trey, I want you to bump off a left tackle. Trent, don't worry. Trent will take care of you. Coach, can I talk to you for a minute? Call timeout.
Even if he
my helmet,
readily agrees to it, there's going to be that fear in the back of your mind that you're going to get hurt or something's going to happen to your ankle.
I know, man. That hurts, man. I mean, I've just had sprains and things. I can't imagine a break. Oh. God. And then he take the screws out a little later because the hardware was hurting. Oh, man. Now I question as I've made the right life choices. I'm going to be a football player? I'm going to do this. I'm not doing this. This hurts. Damn it. I'd be feeling sorry for myself. I'm that kind of a person, though. Because I always think the world's picking on me anytime I catch a cold. So, because I never get sick. So I can't imagine breaking a bone. Oh. Got away in school. Never hurt anything. I got bruises and knocks. Bruised ribs. Martial art, I got hurt worse. Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, and I don't really understand what the last caller was named. You say Jack.
Trez.
Draft position shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Or Trez. It shouldn't matter where you're drafted. It should matter how well you played. And Brock Purdy showed a lot more in 8 games than Trey has. I know it hasn't been fair to Trey, but
he's got to be able to stay on the field. It's like, Lynch already said it. Trey's got to stay healthy. He didn't mean Trey has to stay healthy for the reason that we're not going to keep him if he doesn't. Trey needs to stay healthy so he can show people what he's capable of doing. That's the thing. And he can't do that if he's hurt. So he's under a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. 22 years old under that kind of pressure. He can handle it. He's just got to somehow avoid injury and show people what he's capable of.
Yeah. And it's weird that some people are thinking Brock Purdy can't do it. I mean, Brock Purdy in 8 games threw more touchdowns than Daniel Jones, and he just got paid $35 million a year.
No, you know what? That was a mistake in New York, though. Okay, some teams, Jesus Christ, but yet Burrows can't get paid in Cincinnati. So what the Jesus Christ? You got to pick up. Why did you extend him now? You got to pick up his 5th-year option. So there's a lot of weird management in the NFL, and that's what that's about. Not Danny Dimes, okay, fine, but still, guys, what are you doing?
Danny Dimes' bigger strength was running the ball.
Yeah, he can run. He reminds you of what's his name over in Buffalo, running. Josh Allen. Yeah. So, and I think that's what Kyle wants. He wanted in Trey. He likes having a greyhound that can actually throw the ball. Allen and Dimes can't throw the ball. But, Allen, that guy's got a howitzer. So, he does too much running. Allen's career is not going to last long if he doesn't start giving that ball to running back on occasion, though. Because if your quarterback's running all the time, your Lamar Jacksons, your Kyler Murrays, and everybody else, even Mahomes has ended up bagged up a lot. He doesn't run that often. If your quarterback's prone to running more often than he is getting rid of the ball, there is going to come a point, and the same thing can be said about a pocket quarterback, but the chance of getting taken out of a game can be really scary. So.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people said we should have taken Justin Fields, but Justin Fields has been injured multiple times because he runs the ball so much.
Oh, man. Remember that first game last season, first 5 games? They hit Justin so hard. I saw something flying through the frame. That was Justin's helmet. I said, oh, my God. What kind of impact does it take to send somebody's helmet flying like that? It looked like a bullet. That's a concussion all day. So,
Yeah.
It's a scary thing. You got to know when to slide, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some training to work on.
But we'll see. He's worked on he's serious about working on his mechanics. I see some improvement in his throwing form already. We're going to see the motivation behind Trey Lance. I'm interested to see how he converts all that motivation into being productive. So we'll see. Sam Darnold's got all the confidence in the world. He actually believes he can take Trey out. You know he does, because he wouldn't have signed with the 49ers had he not thought so.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Because, I mean, you said before, Kyle really liked Sam Darnold. They probably would have drafted him if they could have.
Yeah, and then there's that. So, well, we're going to soon find out. I'm actually, and everybody knows I was a Jimmy guy, but I'm going to feel bad if Trey. You take this poor kid. He's a youngster, really young. Was he 21? He wasn't even 21 yet.
Well, he's the same age as I am, which is 22 right now.
Yeah, when he came to us, he was going for his 21st birthday. So now. You put him up against it. He's got hurt a couple of times, and he's got to go in now and fight for his life for a job in the NFL. If he goes to the bench, his career is going to be ruined. That's all there is to it. Because now people are going to say the B word, So I wish him nothing but luck. I hope he wins, actually. I really do. It's going to be rough.
Yeah.
We'll find out. But anyway,
yeah, I just wonder whoever the best quarterback is to win, whether it's Trey, Brock.
Yeah, Brock Purdy has done himself a job. It's his to lose. If he comes back, he will be given priority. So Trey's already up against it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out.
Yep. And the final question I'll give you before I go is, do you think Trey's going to be traded on Thursday?
No. It costs too much money. The 49ers are going to lose $2 million if they trade. That's dead cap hit. Unless some team makes some kind of elaborate deal. No. The 49ers don't want to pay that. I don't think so. Plus, they got to pay the kid that they trade. No, that's not going to happen. Anyway, look for your draft night, all right?
All right.
All right, man. Have a great night, fam. Yo, Steven.
What's going on?
Steven, draft time. And I was just waiting to see John Lynch come out and speak, because you knew Kyle wasn't. I have a feeling Kyle never speaks because Kyle is not as elegant, and he doesn't hide things as well as John Lynch. Because this is the same guy that comes out and tells you what his quarterback did wrong every week when it was his fault. So John has to come out and speak. Like when John came out and made up for Kyle, but he says, well, no, I don't. Kyle, did John tell? Did Kyle tell Jimmy Ward that he either plays the slot or does he like the bench? No, I don't think that happened. I think what Jimmy might have misunderstood is that Kyle says we need you in the slot, and we'd like for you to play. I mean, I just stopped laughing. I said, you can't make this up, John. Jimmy's not going to say that if you didn't say it to him. How would I say that? So, that's why John speaks. And he got himself in a little bit of a corner this week, I thought, too. But what did you think about Monday? Did you see the conference?
No, I didn't happen to catch the conference, unfortunately. No, I'm just barely getting over the stomach bug.
Oh, no.
Man, that's just coming around like, yeah.
Steven, I'm concerned about you. Last time you were saying you rushed to the hospital because of you thought you were having a heart attack, and now the stomach bug? Steven, we got to get you on some kind of program. Steve!
Yeah, no, the heart attack one, oh boy, the heart attack one, that one was a scary one.
Yeah.
They just said it was just a lot of stress, and the fact that, I do have an irregular heartbeat. I've always had one since I was a kid. So it just, so they were like, "Oh, let's get you in as soon as possible."
Steven, did you go for high school sports though?
Yeah, I did. No, I did.
Did you get? Did the doctor back there? They called when I was a kid. They called it a heart murmur. I didn't know what that meant.
Yes.
And
yes, that's exactly what I had, a heart murmur.
But they let me play. I didn't pay any attention.
Mm-hmm.
I never felt anything. Ran track and field and endured. Maybe the best thing to do is work out hard, but not stress. You can't. Stress is another thing. That's mental, and that does hurt hard. I'm sure you got that under control by now, though.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely got it under control. Best method, excuse my language, is I just don't give a fuck anymore.
That's the best thing to do. That's the best thing. Everybody, look in the mirror and say that. I'm telling you, it's effective. I don't give a fuck.
But yeah, no. No, I like I said, I was just getting over the stomach bug, so I did miss it. Me, Roman, and Roman's mom, my girl, and my aunt got it. All four of us.
Oh,
so, boy, yeah. Oh. It definitely took the whole house.
Damn.
But we're all feeling a lot better.
Good.
Roman's feeling a lot better. Looks a little bit more skinnier, but.
Oh, poor guy. He doesn't have a lot of weight now. He can't afford to lose a whole lot of weight. You got to make sure he eats a lot then.
I know.
Yeah.
Outside that, though, I've seen a couple of articles. One thing that the Niners don't have to worry about anymore, not like we had to, but, it just kind of takes the weight off of our shoulders, is no more Aaron Rodgers in the NFC.
Wait a minute, Steven. When's the last time Aaron Rodgers has been a problem? Remember that year, was it 2-3 years ago? That COVID year. Yeah, it's 3 years. That we lost all of our starters to COVID, and they made us play that game on a Thursday night anyway, and we came out there with a patchwork team, and they beat us. Aaron Rodgers, the 49ers kind of own Aaron. So, I wish he'd come back.
Nah, we don't need him. Let Robert Saleh see if he can figure him out.
He's got to win the postseason. Aaron Rodgers gets a lot of excuse from a lot of people, but Aaron Rodgers, people don't know it. But he won a trophy a long time ago. It's been over a decade since he has. He tears it up all year long. Everybody talks about him like he's the greatest quarterback of all time. But, at some point, he should get a little less love.
Yeah, no, he's got to sit beside himself on that one. He's been a whole decade without a trophy, and he's not Brett Favre. He's not he's not anyone before him. But you win one, cool. You got to win two to get the respect. If you win three, you get kudos to you, whatever, high five.
Mm-hmm.
But it's whatever,
I mean, Patrick Mahomes already surpassed him.
Exactly, and he's only been there for half the time. No, a quarter of the time.
Actually, yeah.
So, but in reality, I mean, I don't know too much of what's going on. I do know that the whole problem was, people are giving offers to Trey Lance. Some say 49ers are entertaining the idea. John Lynch is saying they're not entertaining the idea. What people are saying, Brock Purdy should be a starter. And then they come out with, oh no, Trey Lance is definitely our starter. It's a very back and forth kind of situation. I mean, it's something we've already talked about since the NFC Championship, who would be the starter, or since Brock Purdy's third game. He showed out. But the thing is that consistency. Everyone's seeing Patrick Mahomes and Trey Lance practicing with each other. Does that mean Trey Lance might be better than he once was? Who knows? Did he finally fix that hitch in his arm where, it looks like a delay in his throwing process?
He kind of did.
And, it looks like he did.
But can he stay with that form under pressure? Because, Cap worked on that too. Yeah.
exactly. And we also have to worry about if, let's say, for instance, if Trey fumbles and fumbles the bag, and Purdy comes out, is Purdy going to be the same? Is he going to be able to throw the same power, or is he going to throw better? Is he going to want to be that same scramble play quarterback, or is he going to be afraid because he doesn't want to tear another ligament or get hurt worse? These are all things that play a factor. So it all depends on what happens going forward. Now, who we're going for in the draft, I would definitely love to see possibly a new tight end. Get a new tight end just in case.
This draft's filled with them. Somebody's coming to San Francisco.
Yeah, we got to draft that tight end from Iowa State. We just got to keep it that way. And in terms of whatever quarterback talks there is already, I don't think they're going to go for another quarterback. I think it'd be kind of stupid if they did. But I mean, hey, more depth in the QB room just in case.
Yeah.
Which also kind of makes me a little nervous because why are they concerned about adding a fifth QB in the QB room when they should be fortifying the offensive line? You feel?
Yeah.
It's like, do you really think
offensive line that's a priority though? They're going to get an offensive lineman before they get a quarterback. Actually, we've only got 3 quarterbacks. Johnson was cut. I think Johnson had to get his own ride home from Philadelphia, concussion and all.
You got to take an Uber back.
Uber all the way back across the country. That's cold.
Yeah, no. I mean, I really don't think they should be going for a QB as a priority. I think they should really start fortifying that right side more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, like we've got what's his name?
McKivitz.
Oh my God, what was it?
McKivitz.
No. The guy we picked up from Buffalo.
Oh, Feliciano.
Feliciano, yeah, we got Feliciano.
But
we need more.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what the 49ers do with that offensive line. That's a surprise waiting for everybody, I think. Steve, we're going to run out of time. But listen, if you got time and feeling better, and Stephen, please feel better. We're worried about you. Anyway, we'll see you Friday, the day of the draft, and both day 1 and 2, if you got time.
All right, Ronbo, I'll see you then.
All right, give my best to little Rome and get him fattened back up again.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, fam. Good night.
Hey, Ronbo, have a good night.
Thanks, fam. Hey, yo, Beto.
Hey, Ronbo.
Beto. Huh?
Hey, what's up, Ronbo?
No, man, we're just sitting there speculating on what's going to happen on draft night. The trade conversation's been going on forever. Boy, now it's going to trade. The hostilities we have toward our players about certain things is always hilarious. When Trey first got drafted, oh my God, he's the savior. Get that Jimmy out of here. We got a franchise quarterback now. And then 2 years later, we're trading Trey. I said, God, man, we need to calm down. This is football's a violent game. People get hurt.
Yeah.
You can't get mad at them for getting hurt. And Trey, he's been the victim of that. He hasn't been able to stay on the field to show anybody who he is. Not yet. And then you got Brock Purdy, who went out there, and again, another one bites the dust. What's that's another one bites the dust. That's the 49ers. That's the 49ers theme song, So that's these guys got to be given a break, No, I'm sorry, don't use that term. Oh no, don't give them a break. Give them another opportunity, So we'll see.
This is John Lynch's fault. If he would. I liked a lot of stuff that he was saying in the press conference. The only thing that kind of got me off is that when they talk about Nick Bosa, he shut things down. If you don't want to trade somebody, then shut things down like you did Nick Bosa. That's
I know, right? Otherwise, you make a stink.
You won't have any of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't act like you don't like it then. Asking questions.
Yeah.
Then shut it down.
Yeah, if you don't want people telling you if you're gonna trade Trey Lance or anything like that, then shut it down like you Nick Bosa, like you did it with Nick Bosa.
So now you
right
know,
away.
Bethel. But so now you know. If John has he's already proven that if he doesn't want to make a deal, he'll let you know. It used to be, well, we'll do anything we can do, due diligence to make our football team better. Oh, okay. Nick, you don't want to make the team better. Now, you know what, John? Yeah, that means the door is open on everybody on the team, isn't it? Just say it like it is. They want phone calls. They want you to make them a deal. I mean, we figured that one out easily.
Yes. Yeah, and, we won't be speculating that, what you want to trade Trey if you would have shut it down. You say, hey, we're not going to trade him. He's going to fight for the job.
Yeah.
And, and
Brandon
let's go.
Aiyuk,
yeah,
same thing.
The same thing.
It's an easy way to handle the media.
Because
get him off you.
Yeah. Yeah, but he doesn't do that.
He wants people to call, fam. John wants you to call. He loves answering that phone. Yeah. Well, what do you got in mind? If it's not a second-round picker up, I don't know that we need to talk any further. Hello? Oh, well, fine. Yeah. Because what? John's going to... I wouldn't call. If I was a GM, I wouldn't call because I already know what he wants.
Yeah. So it just, and then plus, if you see lately, they've been working out a lot of wide receivers. They've been working out, I think, a lot of tight ends. So, that means something too.
Yeah, they got your tight end. There's a lot of great tight ends this draft. Wide receivers, I'm not sure why they would be doing that. Who's he going to beat out?
I don't know, because there's not a lot of good. There's good wide receivers, but they're all gonna be gone by the time we pick. And
well, maybe not. Bethel, have you been watching it? Have you been watching the college ball though? Is there any speed merchants? I want a 4.3 guy that can locate the ball and got hands.
I don't watch a lot of it unless I hear from somebody that he's a good ball player, and I watch some highlights.
Same here.
But it's just that you don't know what you're gonna get when you actually get them. A lot of players, a lot of wide receivers actually, I remember they called them a bust and end up being good players, and the ones that you expect a lot of things are the ones that go to trash. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this is all the time. Every year. Bethel, would you take a quarterback in the first round? I'd be scared to death. I would turn it to Trent Baalke, because Baalke would never take another receiver in the first round either.
Yeah, it's just that the only way you will take a wide receiver or take an offense guy, unless he's a need, or unless you could get best player available. It depends on your roster.
See, Bethel's been talking. I've been teaching Bethel how you go about engineering your way through the draft. Anybody that picks up an offensive player in the first round is a damn fool, and I learned that lesson with A.J. Jenkins. So Trent's through with the offensive people in the first round. What is this? Oh, the biggest bust in 49er history.
Yeah.
So
it's just that. Yeah, it's just like the guy we missed out with Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay got that. I think he was a blocker, and he was a really good blocker, because I remember Tom Brady praising that kid, and he was a rookie. And
wait. He was with the Patriots? Yeah, that was that dude that we missed out on.
No, he was the one that we missed out that went to Tampa Bay. That guy became a really good blocker. Even Tom Brady, he said, without that guy on the field, he was one of the ones that he trusted the most on the field to block.
You gotta have
and we
those
missed
guys.
out on that guy.
Yeah. You know what, though?
So,
Kyle's got a certain kind of offensive lineman he likes, which is really it creates a paradox because you need to protect your quarterback, but Kyle wants a guy that's athletic, not necessarily real strong, but he needs to be athletic. He's got to get out in space. He's got to create a maze for the running back to run through, because that's the bread and butter of Kyle Shanahan's offense. So now, big guys like Quentin Nelson, which I says, oh man, you know what? Quentin Nelson can get out in space. I don't know who scouted on him, but we couldn't have got him anyway. But still, big men can move. A lot of them can move.
yeah. And then another thing that CMC kind of said, he said that, Sam Darnold is a good, he listens and he does what he's told. That's why Kyle likes Sam Darnold. Because he likes his quarterback to listen what he wants him to do. That's the reason why he really wanted him in there.
Christian forgot all about Brock. He forgot all about Trey. This is his guy. And Frank Gore too. He played with Sam, and he's pumping him up. But I think because he says Sam was hurt a lot, and he played through pain. So, you could hear the violins playing.
That's why you have to let him rest and and let him start when he has to, because when you come from injury, you don't know how they're gonna be. So we just hope the best. And then plus, if we have Trey and Trey starts, and we have Sam Darnold, you have some good backup quarterbacks, and plus, people don't remember, we kept 3 quarterbacks in our 53-man. We kept Trey Lance, Jimmy, and Brock Purdy. That's 3 quarterbacks. We did it before. They might try to do the same thing this year.
Brock was brought up from the practice squad, but the 49ers are lucky nobody picked him off. I guess they just didn't know. Bethel, we're going to go, and I'll see you Friday after opening night of the draft. All right?
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Maybe they surprise us. You never know.
You never know. Not with John and Kyle.
No.
My God, they're so full of surprises. All right, Bethel, always a pleasure. Talk to you in a minute.
All right. Hit the like, and let's go Niners.
See what Niners is right. All right, Bethel. Thanks, fam. And Jersey Joe is back just in time for football season. Jersey actually did what a lot of people did. You got to take some time off from football, especially when you get pissed off at the end of the season as much as we did. JJ!
Ronbo, I was actually going to take even longer until I heard the stupidity tonight.
Oh, you know how we do with the off season. Oh, we are something different. What's bothering you the most?
I'm not going to say names, but
but I mean, what particular? Yeah.
Well, one of the things is the stupid crap that was on. There's no film on Trey. I hate being that dude, but the stupidity just drives me nuts.
JJ,
it's the same shit that they're saying.
JJ, are you on speakerphone? Because you got your sound is not good.
No, I'm using this crappy headset because I got a bunch of candy on my other one.
Did you say but you got candy? All right, go ahead. Okay, we'll make do.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
No candy on it.
Anyway, because I like where you're going with this. I agree. Film doesn't make it that much easier.
No, but look at it like this, Rom. It's like the dumb shit with the no film on Purdy. Like, man, the man played 8 games and won them all. How much film do you need? Seriously.
Yeah, because by week 5 you should have had enough film. Yeah.
You said it yourself, and we all truly believe it. We would have beaten Eagles.
Oh yeah. The defense was going to beat him up no matter what. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I said the same thing.
Again, the kid looked sharp. Not only did he win the games, but he looked sharp doing it. But people made the same bullshit excuse with Jimmy when he came in with 5, and yet he beat 3 playoff teams. Yet they completely don't use the same excuse with Trey when he had 0 film for a full year and a half, and yet could not win. He's 2 for 2, and you can't even count that remaining 2 because Jimmy won that game for him, the second one.
Yeah.
I can't stand the stupidity, Ronbo. It's like people come up with excuses, but they don't use it against themselves.
No,
and again, that doesn't mean I hate Trey.
No, I know what you're saying. Why the double standard? I've always agreed with that. I would say, this guy makes a mistake and he gets like blown out of the water, and this one, he hasn't done anything special, but he gets all the love in the world. I just don't. I never did get it.
I mean, I've said it before. I was brutally honest. I said I don't see what the big whoop is. I really don't see it. There's no spark. That doesn't mean that I'm ruling him out, but I don't see it. If it was up to me, I want Trey to be better than Purdy. Just because I want to win. I want whoever's wearing the red and gold. I want them to be even better than Montana.
Yeah, always.
But it's this logic. There is no logic in this. People just want to hate on somebody because they're winning. Well, how do they win?
You know what, JJ, you and I and Edmund, we're all thinking the same. You know what? The quarterback that wins the job is my quarterback because apparently they chose him because he's the best one. That's what counts. Not because I don't like this guy, but I like this guy, and I don't like this guy either, but I like this guy. Well, I put up with it. And then when one's doing the bias comes in. When one makes a mistake, he gets blasted. The other makes that same mistake, nobody says anything. It's like, oh, man. Okay, you got to tune that out.
I was serious, Ron, when I said I would buy his jersey. And then, I jumped the gun. I bought it anyways.
Which one?
But it was Trey.
5? Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, because you're not a hater. You just wait to see what happens.
I just want to win. But the thing is like, this fan base is making people hate Trey for no reason. It's the same thing with Jimmy. It's like, you guys were hating him for what reason?
I never could understand that. We won, and we kept winning all the time. Well, no, it's not because of Jimmy. It's because of the rest of that team. Okay. I guess my argument's
I can't lie, Ron. It does go both ways, though. You know what I'm saying? The Jimmy fans and the Trey fans, I mean, like, both of you guys have made this terrible for people that enjoy the sport.
I know, that's why. That's why don't get tangled up in it. You're doing good. You know what? You bought Trey's jersey. There's no dislike for Trey. That's why I tried to tell people last year they got mad at me because I was still rooting for Jimmy. I said, you know what? I'm just rooting for Jimmy because he's out there and he's winning. And hate me for that? Why? Yeah. That makes no sense.
Yeah, people are already hating Darnold just because of what? Just because he's
over here.
Supposedly at the point. Yeah, just because there's a chance that he's going to beat out Lance, people are hating him already.
Well, the media's helping that though, JJ. Have you seen what's being said though? They're fanning that flame. There's one guy on a podcast today says, Sam's come over in San Francisco and he will be starting quarterback week 1. And I said, where do you get that from? And so you wonder who's talking.
Yeah, people got to.
And who's learning what?
They got to realize the fact that, like Fred Warner said it, Purdy was playing the best defense for 13 weeks. Okay, so Trey's going to have his opportunity, so Sam. But really, between the two, it's really what it comes down to. Whoever wins that, I'm all for it. I mean, if Trey's better, then he's better.
Yeah, because that means the 49ers are better, right? Yeah.
Exactly. But I just want to win, Roman. I honestly feel like if Purdy comes back, same person, I honestly see a Super Bowl. That's my honest opinion. But
you know what? I can't wait for another couple of months. What? Another month? I want to see if he's going to be able to throw the ball. From what I understand, Grant's already telling people that Purdy's going to be out for the year. Why? Where do you get that information?
Grant's an idiot.
But Grant has information on, sometimes he provides information. But where do you get that from? That kind of what?
It's psychology, Roman. I know you like the rap scene at all. You ever figure out, or you ever watch how 50 Cent got famous? He just went at people. Yeah. That's how he got famous, and that's the same thing Grant does. He's just doing it for shock value.
Yeah.
And people like it.
And it appeals when Get rich or die trying. That's something that a lot of people can really, really grasp, really quickly. But yeah, no, you're right.
I can't wait for this draft to be over because I'm sick and tired of hearing Big Show sound like a little girl.
Come on, my show's
happy.
I love me some show.
He's listening right now too. I know he is.
Sean, I don't care what JJ says. You are the man.
He's over here posting. I can't. 3 more days. Yeah, 3 more days till we wait till the very next day. We're not picking in the first round. We're not getting rid of Aiyuk either. Stop it.
Nah. No. Brandon Aiyuk and Trey Lance will be in camp after the draft. I feel very confident about that. It's not going to change. But we'll see.
Yeah, I don't think it.
Anyway, JJ, always a pleasure. Good to hear you again. And I can't wait to hear from you next. And I want to hear that horn honking and
which one? You on that one or this one?
The other one's more comical. That was just powerful. That's real. That's right up there with wah wah. Jake, all right, JJ. See you in a couple of days.
All right, if that jersey's fire, maybe buy a 5th Jerry Rice jersey.
There you go. It's
I got more than 5. What am I thinking?
It's a nice jersey. Jay, you're on the road. Be careful out there. Night, JJ. And let's go over to Tony.
Ronbo, good evening. How's it going?
Tony, I was delighted. I just realized when I was talking to GB Vool, it was funny because, one thing about the Rams, they need to remember the Falcons that they like to pick on took them out in the first round. Oh, my God! Oh, that's right. Shut up, Rudy. 28-3.
Yeah,
I always see it posted 28-3.
Super Bowl.
Huh?
The year after we went to the Super Bowl, we went to L.A., to the Coliseum with Todd Gurley and Jared Goff, and our defense manhandled them. We beat them 28-16.
I watched it. I was bouncing off the wall, screaming and laughing. I was loving it.
Yep.
That was the last year.
That was a good team, though. They were a good young team, though, then. They were an up-and-coming team. They were pretty good.
That was the last year that they beat us. And from that point on, Kyle Shanahan rode into town, and that was the last time that they – wait a minute. Did Cap – I think Cap beat them that year, too. We had 2 wins. I think that was the year. We lost one time after Kyle came, I think, to that Rams team. And after that, it was all she wrote. Never looked back. Jimmy came into town, and the Rams didn't win but one more time, and that was recently. So, that's why I
said, organization so screwed up, Ronbo. They overpay players, and then they sold to the devil for that 1 year, and they got lucky to get there if they hadn't had Von Miller. And then purgatory, like you were saying. And now look, they lose all their starters. And then Todd Gurley's been retired for 2 years, and they still paying him for 2 years.
Wait, who?
They still pay him.
Who are they still playing?
Remember Todd Gurley?
Oh yeah, Todd.
Well, no, he retired. He played with us in 2020. The Rams had to pay him 60% of his salary then. 2021 and 2022, they were still paying him. He was out of football. They're done paying him now.
I did not even think that was legal. I laughed. I couldn't stop laughing. Wait a minute. Wait. I said, say it again. No, the Rams are still paying Todd Gurley. Wait a minute. Why? They didn't have enough money. So they gave an IOU? Yep. That's when I lost it.
Actually, that's happened a lot of times. Jerry Jones was still paying Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin when they retired.
So you know what?
It has happened. It doesn't happen often.
The cap actually saved a lot of owners from getting sued. Because can you imagine some owner decides, I'm not paying because I have some solid reasons as to why I don't think I should have to pay any more than I did. So, owners are always looking to do players up. So, you come into that contract and sign it, and they come up with reasons for not to pay you or tell you I'll pay you next season. Gurley says, as much as y'all pay me, it don't matter because I got plenty of money, but the point is you got to pay me. Jesus. Yep. So, hey.
Ronbo, what you guys looking at? I know you're looking for tight end.
Yeah.
And I heard you talking about offensive line.
You know, that offensive line. How many teams in the NFL aren't looking for offensive linemen? No, you know, I think we're right along with everybody. Everybody wants offensive linemen. There's not that many prime time, premium grade offensive linemen to go around for everybody to have good offensive linemen. That's why there's so many defensive.
They're gonna all be gone early.
Yeah, that's why all defensive linemen look so good nowadays, and all the time.
Yeah, you got to be lucky. You get like I'll give you a perfect example. You know, the LA Chargers drafted that Rashad Slater out of Northwestern,
right.
2021.
Mm-hmm.
He became All-Pro as a rookie.
Yep.
Left tackle.
It's always about can you draft one.
Yeah, and then 2022 he tore his ACL, so in the fourth game of the year, they drafted in 2022 a left tackle, Georgia's left tackle. His name was Sawyer. I can't remember his first name. Sawyer, right? In the 6th round. He replaced Rashad Slater. Ronbo, he balled all year.
See.
He played the last 12 games. And check this out, Ronbo. That was the 6th round, the 196th pick, right?
Yeah.
Six picks before that, in the 6th round, we picked Sawyer's teammate, the left guard. Ronbo, he didn't do anything. I'm like, why did we take Sawyer? We took his teammate. He didn't do anything, and Sawyer balled out.
Tony,
played the whole year.
We've seen it so many times. Some players' games translate to the NFL and some don't. You look at the fact that we drafted Joe Staley. And the 49ers haven't had a lot of luck. Anthony Davis, the big Polynesian. That was an unbelievable sequence of events that we had a great offensive line with Harbaugh. And that was McLuhan that was actually had the wherewithal to grab those guys. I think
Anthony Davis, that was the right tackle. I loved him.
Yeah, you know.
I liked him. I wanted us to get him.
Man, that's what you got to do. You can't go get one that's already established somewhere else because you got to pay a fortune to get him. You can draft him and raise him in your system. Not only does he know your system, but he's really good at it. These are rolls of the dice that only happen every now and then. Because we're drafting an offensive lineman every year. Every year we draft offensive linemen. And
that's right. You got to have an outstanding scouting department, Ronbo. You know that.
Yeah.
The scouts will find those gems in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round.
Aiyuk Potter.
Scouting will.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, you know, man, it's rough. And then he comes in there and your quarterback gets annihilated. Why? Because he's no good. What did we draft him? In the 2nd round? Oh, there was a kid the Raiders picked up. I don't know. Did he get drafted?
Oh, yeah. Levin Wood or something from Alabama. I remember him.
He was the first round pick.
Oh, he was horrible. He was horrible.
God.
Ronbo, there people was running around him. I remember him. Yeah. Alex Leavenworth or Leavenworth, something like that.
You know what I'm talking about? I forgot his name, but I was, my
Number
God.
70 out of Alabama, 1st round. I'm like, he ain't no 1st round pick. And they took him in the 1st round. Yep. I remember him.
Coaches, though, Tony, because you know Laken Tomlinson to Detroit, right? We picked up Laken from the Detroit Lions. He was considered a bust over in Detroit. And then we got him.
But he's a
Laken Tomlinson was one of the best guards in the league after 2-3 years later.
Radio Pro Bowl, and like you said at your last show, coaching.
Always, and especially with offensive linemen. Well, defensive linemen, too. Kasurik, one of the best in the game. And even this guy Forrester we got, he does a good job because some of those guys may be playing above their head on that offensive line. So we get 3 guys to the Pro Bowl. I mean, Trent Williams goes up without saying. Oh, no, Aaron didn't make it. Brendel made it. That's right. Yeah. Aaron Banks didn't make it yet.
The most underrated player on your team. The most underrated player on your team. Your fullback. He's a perennial Pro Bowler.
Every
year. And nobody talks about him.
I do.
That dude can catch. He can run. He can block.
He is a football
Kyle
player.
got to get him in y'all passing games some more, too.
And when he does make passing and passing plays, he usually does great. God.
Yep. I remember the one game, I think it was the Seattle game. It was one of those games where you and I was talking. He was wide open. And Jimmy didn't. It was Jimmy. Jimmy didn't throw to him.
Like he didn't even see him. But that's the only game I've seen Juice open so many times out there waving his arms. I said, why did that get missed? So, anyway.
He's an excellent receiver.
Yeah. And it has no problem blocking. Does a great job of it, too.
Yep.
Our running backs would not be who they are without juice.
Best fullback in football.
Yeah, no
and
doubt.
you don't hear nobody talk about him.
Well, if you know what?
I know who he is.
If you put up a trade, boy, people will be all over the place trying to get him in, even if you don't run a fullback in your system. And that's what it is. Tradition says we don't use fullbacks anymore. Well, you should. Look at Kyle.
Yep.
Tony, let me see you draft day, and see what gets what. Tony, whoa.
The only thing I heard is that the New York Jets and the Baltimore Ravens are trying to, in the battling war, trying to trade for DeAndre Hopkins with the Arizona Cardinals. I hope the Jets win that war. You know why I hope the Jets win, so they can go ahead and cut Corey Davis so we can get him.
DeAndre Hopkins with the Jets? You're going to give DeAndre Hopkins to Aaron Rodgers? Uh-oh. Hey, Tony.
I tweaked the hamstring. I'm hurt.
Yeah, well, yeah, I know he does have that issue now. Hey, but you know what? I understand you guys Atlanta Falcons are still maybe pulling a quarterback in the first round?
Nah. C.J. Stroud's stock is falling, they were saying.
Oh.
I guarantee you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Stroud is not on top of the heap anymore.
Seattle will take him at 5, Ronbo. I think Petey will take him.
And he probably said, Geno is that last year. I want to see Geno do that again. Okay? I ain't convinced.
Yeah, he'll be 33 years old.
All right, Tony.
Are you doing a stream on Thursday?
Yeah, I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to get into that because I can't stand it.
I'll be off.
I
work tomorrow, then I'm off the rest of the week.
I got Big Show joining me for that to analyze each player and everybody's picking. That should be funny. So look how we missed out, man. Another guy we could have had, he got no first. I'm gonna cry about that the whole first round. We wouldn't have got him anyway. God. All right, Tony. I'll see you draft night.
I'll see you draft night, sir.
All right, fam. Night, Tony.
All right, take care.
Yes, indeed. And bam, that'll wrap it up. Hey, I'll see you draft night. You know, Show and I are going to be on. Show's going to join me because his expertise as far as college players is just up there with the best. I got all that kind of respect for him. I don't care what JJ says. Show knows his draft. Let's have a good time. And afterward, of course, we'll get right to talking about it. Gennady Moreno, otherwise known as G-Block. G. Not a gang, for sure. G-Block. Good to hear from his office. We are too, fam. I'll see you. Draft night, fam. Please subscribe. We enjoy your company. Hit like. And I'll see you in just a little bit. Nana!